What up, y'all?
Welcome back, Weedy.
I've been gone for a little minute, but back like we never left. The world is still crumbling around us, but we will survive. Or no, what they say, we shall overcome. Head to ass. Oh my fucking God, them fucking weak ass people, bro. But I want to try to get through everything we got today. So we got some Pearl clips that look like they're gonna be pretty damn funny, given from what I saw. The little bit I saw, Pearl is still like fighting for her life to make sense and to rally all the incel men possible to her channel. It's I know it's super rough not being monetized trying to make that happen, but Pearl is trying. She's hanging in there. Then I don't know what the fuck is going on between I'm sorry, Aaron the Plumber and Wack 100. We got that. Aaron is just looking to fight any and everybody for some reason, and I guess now the next person is Wack 100. And then we got the Birdman dropping some more gems with funny shit about more of these anti-woke guys that's just being blatantly racist. And yeah, and if anything else comes up, if I have time, we'll go through that. But we ain't gonna waste too much of it, so let's get straight into the bullshit. Pearl, let's hear what you have to say.
If men's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would
The
crumble.
last snap.
If women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would be fine.
Oh, really? Who's going to raise all the children?
And then she smirks like she just cooked.
Do you think society discriminates more against men or women, or do you think it's equal?
I
don't
think
fucking
that they
matter.
discriminate more against women, but I don't. That's not to say that men aren't discriminated against in some aspects.
Okay, how are women more discriminated against?
As I've said before, in my own personal experience and statistically,
Other than, can we do something other than just people say mean words to me? Because
Saying mean things isn't even discrimination. And why would you just cut her off and say that? And she didn't even start to allude to it. Did I miss something? Did she allude to people saying mean things?
as I've said before, in my own personal experience and statistically,
other than, can we
She
do
didn't even
something
allude to anything. She just started talking. Saying mean things isn't even discrimination necessarily. And shut up.
other than just people say mean words to me? Because men, by the time they're 22, somebody said a mean word to them. Usually it's a woman.
Oh
So
my
anything
God.
Other than somebody
We get
said
bullied by
something I
friends
don't like.
before women.
abortion bans. Can you name a law that controls what men can do and access healthcare and the healthcare that men can access?
Mhm.
Is there any laws that control men's healthcare access?
Well,
Nope.
if you want to talk about men's body, men are
No.
required to go into selective service. So
No, she didn't say you want to talk about men's body. She said men's access to health care. Try
if there
again.
is a wartime, they are required to be drafted.
Yeah, and I think that the draft should be abolished.
So you asked for a law. There's a law. There's a way that women's bodies aren't protected. There's a way men's bodies aren't protected.
No, so it's actually my
And how prevalent is fucking drafts? This drafts is just not gonna happen, bro.
question was different. My question was, can you name a law that restricts men's access to healthcare?
That's what
that
she said.
restricts men's access to healthcare.
Nope.
No, not off the top of my head.
So there you go. That's one
How
discriminatory
are women
practice.
restricted access to healthcare? You can drive to another state and get an abortion.
Bro, she doesn't. Excuse me, I'm sorry. She doesn't even attempt to pretend like somebody said something worth considering. It's like, no matter what you say, no matter how much sense it make, I'm gonna argue with you. Because why should anybody be forced to drive hours away? Say you live 5 minutes from the closest hospital. I have to drive to another state to get health care? Then what's the point of having hospitals in a certain mile radius? What's the point? If I want something done, let's just drive to the next state over because my state don't allow it. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, well, then that's also not taking into account like socioeconomic factors, right? Because not every person has the ability or the funds or the time to
That
be able
too.
to just cross state lines to gain access. We shouldn't have different healthcare access in different states. Your geographical location should not determine your access to a human right.
Okay. Well,
Right.
again,
Okay.
luckily for women, we have access to birth control.
Yeah, just fuck everything she said that just made all that sense. Just fuck it all. Yeah, you got birth control, so you shouldn't have got pregnant in the first place. Don't she know that, like, most people, I believe half of abortions are from failed contraception, if not more. So people be using this shit, and sometimes it don't work. So what now? They did what they were supposed to do. They tried to prevent it, and something happened that they didn't plan for. What do you mean contraceptive? No contraceptive is 100%. None. Not any of them.
Abstinence, and even you can even track your cycle and not get pregnant. So I think there's
Sure, yeah. Nobody's ever gotten pregnant off of their cycle.
plenty of options beforehand that it really is an excuse if you have an unplanned pregnancy.
So actually about
Like, I just find it so amusing how Pearl has no experience. I don't know if she's had experience with maybe an unwanted pregnancy. I don't know that information. But if we're going off of the way she presents herself, she shouldn't have had that experience. So even outside of that, like the way she feels about marriage, divorce, raising kids, gender roles, all this stuff that she has literally no experience in, but has the most to say about it. And it's just everybody left and right besides Myron and them tell her she's wrong because you don't know what this shit is like when you're really in these situations. Yet she has the strongest opinions on all of it. Stop. You can literally be married and not want to have a kid. And you can use contraception and it can fail you. Married people aren't forced to have kids just because they're married too.
50% of unplanned pregnancies used protection.
See?
And so that's just
Well,
an
then you
incorrect
should,
statement.
I knew I wasn't
learn
tripping.
to use it better.
That's
And
not
the
how
other,
that action. And so that's just
well,
an
then
incorrect statement.
then you should learn to use it better.
Use it better. Oh my, like this isn't reality. Like people can take all of the right steps and shit just don't go right for whatever reason. People take precautions with things all the fucking time and shit can still happen. Nothing is guaranteed. So for her to just act like you should use it. What the fuck is using it better if you have a IUD? What's using it better if you get the shot or whatever? Whatever the one that goes in your arm. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things you can do what you're supposed to do, and that doesn't mean it's gonna be fucking 100% every time. Raggedy Amish is crazy.
That's
And
not
the
how
other
that works.
the other thing is after the kid's born, you could argue that it's an equally irresponsible move when men and women have unprotected sex and become problems.
You know, she supposedly has a boyfriend now. She's been parading on X. So I don't know. Again, like Myron, I think she's paying for him because both of these people seem to have gotten in relationships when the pressure was just getting too much of ignoring the fact that you're just not in a relationship. And it's like you talk all this shit, but you're single as fuck. I think it's kind of convenient that she had a boyfriend when people kept getting on her about being single.
With the birth control. Fine. Irresponsible.
You are crazy.
But after the woman has more control. She has the right to get, she's the only
She
one
has
who
the right
gets
to get an
decide if
abortion.
She takes a plan B. She's the only one that gets to decide to put him on child support.
And
or
she can
alimony
decide to get a fucking abortion too. Don't leave that option out, dumbass.
if they're married. Men don't have a right to their wallets after the kid is born.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. A woman is more than likely going to have to deal with the kid on a regular basis. They're going to have to carry the child. They're going to have to more often than not do the extracurriculars, the cleaning, all that shit. The kid is more than likely going to stay with the mother. Yes, he should pay child support. If they share custody, I don't know. If it's like 50-50, then maybe not. If the kid is with the dad, she should pay child support. Why is they don't have control over their wallets? Then you had the kid with her. You should want to be responsible. Like this framing is like a man should be able to have a kid, and then when she has it, if they're not together, he doesn't bear any responsibility after that. What the fuck is this premise? If he wanted a kid, I ain't gonna say he wanted, but if he had a kid, whether they're together or not, he's responsible. He's responsible. He bears a level of responsibility. He shouldn't be able to just not have to do anything if he's not with the child at least half of the time. What the fuck is wrong with her?
Yeah.
The woman don't have control over her wallet either because the kid's going to be getting into it.
So pregnancy involves your body and your
It's
internal
beyond
organs,
weird.
and
She just
that
can't
is
be
worth
serious.
more than any money.
Yeah, but that's 9 months, a year. What about the rest of the time? What about 18 years after?
Right. And so then there's like
What?
2 years
So-
after that you're breastfeeding. And
Yeah, 18 years. That's you're taking care of the kid for 18 years. Why? What you mean the 9 months?
And then there's the unequal division of childcare and
Yeah.
domestic labor. So it's so much more than 9 months. But to go back, we cannot minimize that 9 months. Having your body be not your own for 9 months is 9 months too long.
Yeah, but there are men dying when they go and do their jobs.
Oh my God. like, what is this dichotomy that everything has to be tit for tat? A woman go, well, there are men dying at their jobs. Men aren't dropping like flies at their jobs. Are there jobs that's dangerous? Yes. But this isn't just this occurrence that men are dying every day at jobs. Otherwise, nobody will work them. There are some jobs that are absolutely dangerous. But you're like, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw something that says like, no. I don't want to say that. It was wrong. But regardless, like every man doesn't work those jobs. Like the jobs that you're talking about that are very dangerous, like linemen and shit. That's not. Most men aren't doing that. Most of us have comfortable jobs that are very low chance of dying or being hurt. So miss me with all that shit. And that's irrelevant. Women still have to carry a kid and they can die during childbirth. Is it a high chance? No. But it's also not a high chance men are fucking dying at work either.
Get a
Not
different job.
complaining about it.
They can get a different job.
No, because men understand that somebody has to do it.
Yeah, they don't have to do it.
They understand. Well, that's why it's
And women
admirable.
understand that somebody has to have kids and they're the ones that have to bear that. And they do it. And it's dangerous. Having a kid isn't just this walk in the park.
that they do it anyway and they don't complain. And that's what I keep going back to is
women aren't complaining either. You're just pretending that there's this issue that you're making everything about men versus women. If women had to have kids, men can die at work. Like, stop.
feminists tend to want is they want all of the credit and they want to over exaggerate their problems.
No.
So I would actually like to go back to the comparison you made of pregnancy and men going to work. Do you think those two things are the same?
I think that a man going to a dangerous job is far worse than a woman being pregnant.
And do you think that the majority
I don't know how to compare the numbers of those two, but I would think that if a job is that damn risky, nobody will work it. If it's like a 50-50 chance you may not come home, like I don't think a lot of people will work that job, even men. And it's not a 50-50 that women will die during childbirth. But childbirth in itself is a lot on your body. It takes a toll on your body. So it's just like, you know, I don't know how I would feel if I had to carry a child and I don't even know what I'm going to look like after that. You know what I'm saying? Some people may be in love with the body that they have and you have a kid and they could destroy it and it may not get back to where it was. You know, it's just a lot of shit.
majority of
Far
men
far
work?
more dangerous, I'll say. That's more accurate. Better and good is like, it's subjective, right?
Yeah, and as I've said before, I think that we should have better
Oh, yeah, you
safety
peep it.
protocols, and we should improve the safety of all workers. So I think that should be addressed. But also, the majority of men,
but it isn't, right? Like, 'cause
right?
when
But are you
when we
arguing
go,
for it to be?
here's the difference. Okay, so feminists have a tendency to think that if we complain, things will just happen, and I'm more realistic, where I know that just
You complain for men.
because we say, oh, it should be better, well, it's not.
So
And men understand that because they have had to deal with that reality from a young age.
you recognize that the only reason you have a microphone and you have a show is because feminists complained because we wanted a voice.
That's
Because
not true.
It actually is.
It's not
being-
true. There's
having-
writers, there's
It
female
is true.
writers in the 1800s, 1700s,
And they had to write under
60s.
men.
Right, yeah, she finna say it. Like a lot of female writers had to write under male names to get their work read or out. Like that was a thing.
Male pseudonyms.
It's not
Pseudonyms,
true.
that's
It
the
is
word.
true.
Yeah.
Not
It-
true.
She talking about it's not true. You just, bro, don't say it's not true because you don't. Look at it. You don't know. You don't know. It's not true. Pearl, it is true. You just don't know about it. Don't sit there and say it's not true. It is true.
It's not true, but it's
That's
history.
not
It
and
is.
Statistics. It is.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
There were
What
women
the
in
fuck?
power. We had Cleopatra. We had women in power throughout all of history.
Oh my God. We had Cleopatra. First of all, she's not even American. Let's get that out the way. And second, one person that's royalty, you're going to count royalty against normal everyday women? Normal women couldn't vote. Normal women couldn't have a bank account. Normal women couldn't write books and have them be published. And this wasn't that long ago. And you're talking about Cleopatra, royalty.
Are examples of them.
When were
the
women,
first female property owner was in the 1600s in the United States.
when were women allowed to have their own bank accounts?
Women were allowed to have their own bank accounts in what does that have to do with writing? You're changing the topic.
No.
First of all, she didn't want to answer because she knew that it wasn't gonna go in her favor. She knew it was not going to. Yeah, and men played women in stage plays and stuff because they couldn't do nothing. You're right. I forgot about that one. But she don't want to answer that question because she know it wasn't good. What does this have to do with writing? It's not about writing. It's about what women had access to, Pearl. So don't act like the topic changed. Turn the notifications on, Tron, man. It come in the chat and you got to turn the notification on.
I'm not.
You're changing the topic because I'm
No,
right.
she's
They were
not.
allowed to write. They were.
It's not about Pearl. You just gonna talk about women in writing the whole time? If I'm not mistaken, I feel like Pearl brought it up first, but I could be wrong. But it's not about writing. It's about what women could do.
Who brought up female writers?
But okay,
That wasn't the question.
Go ahead.
Wait.
So,
She did bring it up, Pearl.
They were.
You're the one who brought up female writers.
Yes,
Okay,
I thought so.
Go ahead,
Pearl
go
brought
ahead.
that up.
Sometime in the 1900s. I can't remember.
No, not the 1900s.
Yeah, it was like in the
general.
1970s.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
When women were allowed to have bank accounts. So when we're talking
And
about women,
what's happened since we got bank accounts?
What
We
has
own
happened?
80.
You
We
tell
own
me.
80% of the world's debt. There's a reason.
Excuse me. First of all, the world's first. Oh my God! And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like she's talking about college debt. They probably have the most college debt because women are going to school now more. That's probably what she's talking about. And even still, you're saying that as if just having debt in itself is just this moral wrong that nobody should have. Like, get the fuck on.
People did things the way they did.
you don't think that women should be able to have their own bank accounts?
I don't think they shouldn't have bank accounts. I think everyone should have the right, and they do. But there's a reason. I think when we look at the past, we have to look at the reason that people did things. And one of the reasons is women are very irresponsible with money.
You just made that up. Nobody said women can't have bank accounts because they're irresponsible. How would you know if they never had the option to have a bank account? You just fucking want to shit on women, and then you sit there and look like you just cooked some shit, and all you did was grab some salt, you fucking idiot. Like, this is, oh my God. Like, just, oh my God. Because women are irresponsible. What the fuck?
Things. And one of the reasons
not
is
why.
women are very irresponsible with money. They own 80% of the world's debt, even though they make less.
And she's just saying it like having debt equals irresponsible with money. That's not how that works.
Money than men.
So did you know that the majority of household finances are regulated and controlled by women?
And
Yeah, I knew that. We make 80% of consumer buying decisions.
and why do you think that is, dumb? Oh my God. She don't. It's like she hears information and doesn't assess it to any degree. Again, speaking on shit that she has no idea about. Women control a lot of the money because we don't give a fuck about that shit for the most part. Men don't be trying to buy the new forks. We don't buy the curtains. We don't buy the furniture. Yeah, we care about the fucking TV and our consoles and our technology and shit. Women do all the other shit. So yes, they do make a lot of the purchasing choices. But it's usually with a man that's overseeing it. And I ain't gonna say usually, but a lot of those cases.
Yeah.
So that's what I said.
No
they
fire
spend.
and no seasoning.
Buying decisions.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. They spend.
So,
That's what I
So?
said, they
Right,
spend
because-
money.
because
So?
They spend
what,
money.
wait, first of all, are we supposed to not spend money? How the fuck are we supposed to keep the economy going if we're not spending money? If people are spending money, that means they have money to spend, numbnuts.
They don't have.
We do have
Who
some
don't
money.
have it?
Hey,
You
that
can't
is
just say women spend money and then they have most of the debt. If that's not the same person, what the fuck are you talking about? And if you have debt and you're managing it well, what's the problem? What the fuck are we talking about?
Because
They spend money
households-
they don't have.
Says
we do have
who?
the money.
Not anymore. I mean, the average
Not
woman
anymore.
out of college has $30,000
Out of college. Why did you pick such a small group of people? Unless you mean everybody out of college, which I wouldn't even believe the stat that you're going to put. But if you mean freshly out of college, of course they're not going to have that much money.
What debt do you have? You have to have 6 figures coming out of med school.
I do have 6 figures of debt,
exactly.
and the student debt. Yeah, because
and the thing is, in your profession,
it's going to pay off.
On average, women leave the medical profession when they have a kid or within 5 years. So odds are you won't pay it off, and it makes. I'm not saying you personally. I hope you do. Right? I'm not wishing it one way or another, but statistically, women make their debt someone else's problem.
Men do the same thing.
No, they don't. So they looked at women paying off their debt and men paying off their college debt, and men have been making payments towards it the last 5 years and women haven't.
So it's funny because you just mentioned how women will leave their careers because they have to take care of children, and that probably plays a large role into why they're not able to pay back their student debt compared to men who continue to be a part of the workforce even after they have children.
Yeah.
Do you see?
And she doesn't care about any of that, because whatever a woman does, whatever choice she makes in life, it's wrong, it's bad, and it's her own fault. Everything that can happen, no matter what trials and tribulations, no matter what is out of her hands, what's in control, what's not in control, if it's involving a woman and decisions, it's wrong, period. That's all she's saying. You can't have a child because if you have a child, then you can't pay off the debt you accrue. You can't be a submissive woman and have a full-time career, because then the child is being left to be raised at daycare and they're not spending time with the mom or the dad as much. Like, all of this shit, everything is for Pearl is wrong if a woman does it.
How those two things might be correlated?
Right.
No, because women aren't having kids anymore.
You just said women have kids so they can't continue to pay off their debt. They after college, they get a job, they might have a career, they get married, and they have a kid, and you said they can't pay off their debt. Now all of a sudden it's not correlated and women aren't having kids. Pearl, what the fuck? If you let her talk enough, she's just gonna contradict herself. Like, Pearl can't string together coherent thoughts at any cost. I would bet on this shit. Like, get Pearl in the room to talk for more than 15 minutes. She's gonna contradict herself at least 3 times, because oh my God.
That would have been the case, maybe the case before, but now they're not really.
Now they're not having kids.
We are still having children.
On average, it's like 1.5 now. So
what is it?
I mean,
what do you mean?
You have 1 kid, you can put it in daycare, you can still work.
You can put it in daycare.
So
sorry, his or her.
Look.
Yeah. See, and this is the problem, is when we
and she's spoken down on daycare before. Now she wants them to work and go to daycare.
People as commodities instead of actual people. That's where we run into this thing of I don't care how you feel, you make stupid decisions, instead of taking a nuanced perspective in the complexity of the human experience and recognizing that there are so many things that contribute into these cherry-picked statistics.
Yes.
Well, you think that the world owes you understanding, and it doesn't.
I think that it does. I think that we owe everybody understanding. I think that in order for me, so you know what? I think that this is something we need to clarify.
Yeah, go ahead.
I partake in these conversations because I want a better world. I develop my opinions based on how I think, or based on what I think is going to improve the human condition and improve people's quality of life. Why do you take part in these conversations?
I like to report on what's going on.
Okay, so you have no desire to improve the world and to be an advocate for change and progression.
It would be nice, but I don't expect it.
See,
that's very telling. You don't even have to expect it, but the fact that she's just sitting there saying, I like to report on what's going on. Well, first of all, you report things in a disingenuous way. You cherry pick facts and statistics, and then you interpret them to fit your narrative. You don't use it to assess anything or make any claims or ideas of what's happening and what's truly going on. It's just this fits my narrative, so let's go with how I want to present it, not how it can really be going on, which is what she's getting at. I can look at these numbers and assess what may be going on behind the scenes of why these numbers are they are. Pearl's just no, it sounds like it can help my narrative, so let me just say it.
And for me, one of my favorite quotes is, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And you can call me a dreamer.
They're the ones who do not.
I mean, historically, you're wrong.
I don't think so.
Martin Luther King.
That erase board
But
you
how
used
many
to
guys
blow me.
tried to be Martin Luther?
What's good, Moosey?
I'm not
Right.
saying I'm not okay, but how many guys tried to be Martin Luther King and failed?
So fucking what? I don't, man, bro. Like, Martin Luther King was here for his time, bro. Like, we don't have to have another one. And if you're not Martin Luther King, it doesn't mean you're not great. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
I'm not saying there
And
aren't.
What's
that's,
good,
that's
Josh?
a societal issue because we resist progression, and you're one of the people who is allowing society to resist progression instead of allowing progression to happen.
How am I allowing society to? What does that even mean?
Yeah, so you.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah, because you say, I see the reality right now and I report on the reality right now. And when I say, yeah, we should recognize what's happening now and improve on it. You say, oh, men are dying in the workplace. And I'm like, okay, let's address that. Let's see why they're doing that. Let's see how we can improve on that. And then you're like, yeah, that's not realistic. I live in reality. Where you see how I am advocating for progression. I'm advocating for improvement. Where you're just like, yeah, you know what? That's not the world we live in. And I don't have any idea or any desire to improve on the shitty statistics that I constantly report on.
Yeah, so I think that sounds nice, but again, it doesn't change the reality of the situation. So you saying something on a podcast doesn't change the amount of men that die every year in a crab fishing boat. But what I like to do is be as
Like, bro, who gonna do the job? If somebody got to do the job, right? If we want crabs, somebody has to do it. And I'm not saying men should be dying while doing it. And I think there's something to be said about, for these same people that say women are more empathetic and understanding and all those things and emotional. I would argue that if women were able to be in these workspaces at a point in time, maybe more consideration would have been put into people dying less. Maybe. You never know. Maybe if that happened, if women was involved, they would care more about people not dying and shit like that. That's an argument. I don't know. I'm not strong in it, but I think it can be said. Crab fishing don't have nothing to do with this. It's just got to do with what she's saying, because the girl is just, you talking about this isn't making less men die. Pearl, we either do the jobs where people can die or we don't. You say they run the world, so should just nobody run? Nobody should do jobs that can get people killed? Well, honestly, anybody could die anywhere from anything. So that's not really here nor there. And they pay off well and usually got great benefits. Like, I'm not saying it's okay they should die, but they got to give you something for the fact that the job is risky.
as accurate as I possibly can. And that is why I say that women do not do as useful or as needed jobs in society as men do. If men's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would crumble. If women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would be fine.
Well, really, who's going to raise
And
all
she
the children?
smirks.
Women aren't even raising their own kids. They're in daycare.
Oh, really? Who's going to raise all the children?
Women aren't even raising their own kids. They're in daycare.
That's
And who's running daycares? Who's the people that teach at daycares? Is it men? Are men the ones running daycares? If you want to go with that argument, shithead.
actually
They're
incorrect.
in daycare and public school. That's
No.
it's a
And in public school, it's mostly women.
$billion industry.
It is $1 billion industry, but
It's $1 billion. What are you saying? Oh, public school's $1 billion industry. So the fuck what? Why are you acting like it's like some type of money grab? Are you kidding me?
statistically, women have the majority of childcare burden, and not a lot of
Exactly.
people can afford daycare.
And like she said, they aren't raising them there in daycare. Okay, so the kids that aren't in daycare, who's more than likely raising these kids? Tell me, Pearl. Stop with this bullshit.
Who is the kid spending the most time with if the mom's at work? Most mothers work nowadays. So the kid is spending more time at school or at daycare.
With a most likely a female teacher.
Yeah,
Because usually
or
school
with
gets out.
extended
School gets
family.
out at like 2:30. It's not the norm. People don't really have.
What do you
extended
see what I'm saying? First she was like, you could work and put the kid in daycare, and now she's shitting on kids being at daycare or school.
family. School gets out at 2:30 or 3. They go to daycare for 2 or 3 hours.
What about before school? What about before?
Before.
Because
What
a
about
lot of times,
after?
especially
What
in
about the
first-
weekends? What about the holidays? Like,
No, like the first 2 years of life at least.
Mhm.
A lot of people aren't sending newborns and like
It's not uncommon.
No, it's not uncommon, but it's also
my sister works at a daycare. They get newborns like within the first couple months all the time.
We're talking about like populations, right? We're talking about like statistics, and the majority of people are not sending their
the average age. Do you care if I look? I'm just
I don't think most people send newborns to daycare if they're lucky enough to have the ability not to. And then daycare is expensive as fuck, so people try to put that off as much as they can.
No, you can look it up.
What is the average age kids go in daycare?
No,
I actually don't know the answer to that question.
That wouldn't be the question that I would ask, but I'm curious what that answer is.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just curious. We recommend kids start daycare as early as 6 weeks old. Doesn't give me an average. Just says kids can start daycare as early as 6 weeks. That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, because that wouldn't be the question that I would Google.
Go ahead.
Like it would be because, right, we're talking about breastfeeding, we're talking about like bonding, a lot of these things, like especially in the first 2 to 6 months of life at least, like women bear the majority of that labor.
Sure. But I say, so what?
What is these cuts? What are these
the
cuts?
Majority of labor of running society for a lifetime.
And
on average, women have 1 to 2 kids. So okay, you could say that's 4 years. Men work 50 in a difficult job that gives us the food that we have, the chairs we're sitting on, and the microphone we're talking in.
And who set that system up?
You should say thank you. Men did.
Oh my God, that exchange just pisses me off, because why is she acting like women are incapable of doing these things? Just because they're not in these fields in mass don't mean they're incapable. So if a woman needs to make a microphone or a chair or keep electricity pumping, they can do it. They just don't. For whatever reason, they don't. Second, why did that girl just say, who set this up? That was a bad retort. I get that you want to be a feminist and you're trying to advocate for women as much as possible and get rid of the patriarchy, but that was a bad retort. Third, every man on earth didn't do all these difficult things. Pearl, I bet your boyfriend don't even do one of these difficult jobs, whatever the fuck you talking about. Like, most people aren't doing these super strenuous, laborious, life-threatening jobs every day. Men are sitting at desks too. Men are sitting at home too doing shit. Men do build shit and be outside, but they aren't necessarily doing something so dangerous that they can't do it. They are doing lawn care and shit like that. You know, postal work, delivery work, and all that shit. Working in restaurants. Men aren't just overly rushing to these jobs where we might die tomorrow. Like, can you quit the nonsense? And you talking about that you should thank men. You should thank your mama you exist. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, stop. She should just go around thanking men because they built shit that she's using that you using too, that men are using. You tell men to thank men. What the fuck are you talking about?
Thank God for them.
No, you seem to have a problem with the amount that men work and the responsibility that men
take. And let's not act like women aren't literally integral to upbringing these men that built this shit. Like 9 times out of 10, if they was either born to a 2-parent house or a single, when it was just the mom. Like if it was single, it was more than likely their mom that raised them. So why do you constantly shit on women and they have to raise these men who are who they are? And you shit on them like they just don't matter. You talking about now you talking about jobs. I thought women were supposed to just be submissive and be homemakers. Now they can't have a job at all because it's not important. Come on, bro. If you say shit like that, I dare you to see how well an all-male daycare goes. I don't think that shit would work. I'm not saying it can't. I just don't see it working. Daycare's running with all men. I don't see that working. I don't see that working. I don't think men have the intuition to be able to deal with newborns for 8 to 10 hours a day. I just don't think it's there. Not for a lot of men.
There. And so
I don't have a problem with it. I'm acknowledging what it is. And women should be thankful to men for doing it instead of complaining that they're not doing enough to make women's lives comfortable. We live in one of the most privileged times to be a woman ever. I mean, you have even the fact that you're saying the biggest problem is that they have to raise their kids in the early years. You know how privileged that is?
What?
I mean, you have the option to put them in daycare. You have the option to delay motherhood. They made IVF for us. They gave you birth. Like, we have so many choices now. And we're still going to say they're not doing enough? That's bullshit.
Do you know how much
what is
work
she talking
it takes
about?
to raise children?
I'm one
No,
of
she
10.
doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
so
she
you-
doesn't know.
It takes to raise
She doesn't know.
children.
I'm one of 10.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
one-
should.
I'm one of 10. That don't mean it was easy. And look at you. I think you're a piece of shit, so it can't be that easy. You didn't turn out too great, Pearl. Yeah, well, I ain't even gonna say you built this platform because you definitely got handed a good lump sum to start it, but you was dealt a lot of good cards in your life. Being one of 10 don't make raising children. What? Oh my God. I don't even get a high. I get a hemorrhoid. God damn, bro.
So you should be
I'm one of 10 kids.
Okay, so here's my next question. Are your parents?
I'm one of 10 is crazy because that doesn't mean you know how to raise kids. You were one of the kids being Rose, if that makes sense. And your mom probably went through it. But like I said, you ain't shit. So I don't know how well that is an example because you turned out to be a piece of shit.
And wasn't your mom
Strawberry seeds killing me.
a feminist on the UN who fought for women's rights at a global level?
Me and my mom don't agree on everything. What's your point?
Yeah, that she had 9 children and she's happily married as a feminist. So it seems like you should be fully aware and
She's
fully
not a feminist. She took me to Sarah Palin rallies when I was a kid.
Okay,
I went to like pro-life rallies when I was 12.
yeah, I mean,
This didn't come out of nowhere.
right, but she also did advocate on a global level for like women's opportunities. So
yeah,
it
and
seems like you should be fully.
Here's the thing: the internet only has half of that story, and
Usually
I
does.
can't. Yeah, I can't tell the full one, just because it's not my place. So I can't really use that as an. I'm telling you, you're wrong though. That's not. If you had the full story, I just can't talk about it here.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you say that a lot when people bring up your family, which is fine.
Ah.
But my main point is that you are not ignorant to these ideas. You are not ignorant to these arguments. Like you, on a global and personal level, like are aware of them.
Mhm.
So to say who cares, like your mom cares. You know, to say who cares, a lot of us care.
Mhm.
And I think that it takes a lot of strength to care. And I think that it actually, to say, oh, I don't care, stop complaining, that's the easy way out. I don't want to take
Yeah.
the easy way out.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think that being passionate about empathy is really like the strength. It takes strength to be sensitive. It takes strength to be vulnerable and transparent. I think that it's really easy and it's the easy way out to just be callous and to say we can't make change and I don't care about your feelings.
Okay, well,
It's true.
again, you can say that, but it doesn't change the reality of the world. And the thing is,
But she's trying to change the reality. Will you stop it? You can say that, but it doesn't change. Obviously, her goal is to make things different. Like, that's obviously what she's trying to do. So to just keep saying it doesn't change is fucking redundant. Her goal is to try to attempt to change with the tools that she has. That's the goal. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl?
if you want to be in a man's world, then be in it. And what women try to do is they go into a man's world and tell them how it should be different.
Yeah, because as you've
Even
recognized,
though they've done none of
it
the
seems
work,
like you
even
are you
though they've done
interviewing
the
me, or
work,
are we?
even though
recognize-
they go into a man's world and tell them how it should be different.
Yeah, because as you've
Even though they've
She
done
just
none of the
started.
work,
like you, are
even
you
though they've done
interviewing
the
me, or
work,
are we?
even though they've done none of the work of building the society. But go ahead, sorry.
I would argue that our society would be better off if we did have a part in building it. Our society has been stagnated and has been held back because women have been held back. Imagine the prosperity and imagine
Yeah, the picture of the old girl, the riveter. Like, what's her name? What's her name? Rita the riveter. What the fuck? Rosie the riveter. That's like that. Yeah, bro. What you just said. That's literally where this came from. Rosie, where the men got drafted and the women had to do everything the men was doing. It's not impossible. It's just it's a big. It will be a big shift. Thank you. Yeah, Rosie the riveter. So it's just like, yeah. Women can do the shit. They just not doing it. That's all. They're just not. It's not that they enable.
the opportunity that the world would have if women weren't held back and women weren't stagnated. And you continuously complain about these things that men have to endure and then simultaneously call it a men's world that women should be grateful to be a part of, but we should also be sensitive towards the things that they've built that are detrimental to themselves.
So what do you think men did historically? Like, what do you think their jobs were? like 1800s, what were your choices as a man to do as a job? Because, you know, you always talk
the
about women were
relevance?
held back historically. So I'm asking, like, what was life like back then?
Women were held back. What is the relevance of this?
Women had to
1800s.
stay home, and men had to do all of the jobs
Okay.
because they didn't
All
allow
of them,
women
exactly.
to help them.
What were
Exactly.
their jobs that they did? What were the most common methods of employment back then?
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, it's going to be construction, it's going to be medicine, it's going to be food production, it's going to be factories, it's going like the same thing that runs all of society.
So they had 3 choices: coal miner, farmer, factory worker.
Shut the fuck. Oh my God. I hate her. Like, oh my God. Is she gonna really act like there's just, it was just nothing else for women to do? Like, is this really her argument? Like, women just coal miner, factory worker, what the fuck she say? Or farmer? Like, there was nothing else going on? Who the fuck ran the shoe shops? Who you think took calls at the doctor's office when the doctor, you know, like the receptionist? What the fuck are you talking about? They didn't have doctors back then? They didn't have lawyers? Well, no. Well, no, if you're talking about coal mining, yeah, why did she say 1800? Whatever. She said coal mining. So the people, this was like a regular society. This isn't hunter-gatherer society. So lawyers, fucking all types of like all this shit, teachers, like what the fuck is she talking about?
Else happened in society. In the
I'm not saying
1800s.
nothing else. That was the majority of how people were employed.
You just said 3.
So
You just acted like there was nothing else. What were their options? They had this, not the same, but they had more options than you just named.
What you guys have this like rewritten history where you guys think that men just had these glamorous, fun jobs.
What is you
But
talking about?
Men did the difficult job. Men know that they didn't enjoy their jobs.
Nobody enjoys their jobs, and if you do, you're lucky as fuck. What are you saying? Nobody then or now is in love with their job, except for a few select people.
Like, do you think of any guys going to a coal mine and saying, "Wow, this is my passion"?
And again, who set that system up?
See, and then she's giving these stupid ass arguments because she's such a feminist. Like, she's leaning way too hard into the feminist shit right now. Who did this? Who set this up? Girl, that's not the point, because women could be doing that shit too and it'll still suck. Don't let her get away with this by saying men set it up, so therefore they gotta suffer. That's such a stupid retort. She needs to tell her it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it don't matter if they had to do it. It had to get done, and they did it for whatever reason. It's not about they set it up, and it's not that women are incapable of doing it. You're letting her basically get away with saying women will never and can never do these jobs. You're letting her have that leeway, and you shouldn't.
It's not about who set it up. It's how would the system run without it. They need coal. At the time, they needed coal. Like the same way now, somebody
Exactly,
has to build
Nicole.
the buildings. Somebody has to get the food. Otherwise, society does not run.
Okay, and women are fully capable of doing it, Pearl. They're not incapable of doing it.
Correct. And we're better off when women participate and when women are able to help men. Like, we talk about all of these like detrimental aspects of these harmful industries, and arguably, if we cared about how people felt, we were compassionate towards their experience, we would put more time and energy to improving these harmful industries.
That's
And
what
if
I
women had
said.
been allowed to enter into these industries earlier, you could argue that they would be safer industries because
Damn, I didn't know she
empathy,
said that. That's legit what I said earlier. I'm like, I think there's an argument to be made for that.
and we want to value progression, and we want to recognize problems and address them. We don't just see a problem and say, "Hey, that's a problem," and then sit on it. Like, no.
Yeah, Watts, it is true, because it's like, yeah, you're a feminist, but you're like, I would never argue the worst version of an argument when you're talking to somebody like Pearl. Like, you letting her get away with some bullshit.
Recognize a problem, you recognize what causes it, and you fix it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I told you about the crab fishing today. What are you going to do now?
As I said, that's not
Why
my
is she acting like she has to go out and save all men from jobs that are dangerous? D-Nice, I don't know if I said what's up. But yes, her responsibility isn't to rid all dangerous jobs. Because if that's the case, a lot of shit won't get done, period. Or what she's saying, she is advocating for maybe if women are put into these spaces, or it don't even have to be about women. We just look at some of these dangerous jobs and maybe see if there's some practical way to make them less dangerous. But I mean, the shit got to get done. They're doing AI and robots now, so hell, maybe we will not have to have linemen up fixing power lines anymore. I doubt it, but you know what I'm saying? Who knows? We don't know.
Job. There are people
Okay,
who
so
are
you're
on.
doing the same
Excuse
thing.
me, if I
Okay,
could
okay,
please speak.
go ahead, go ahead.
As I've said before, there are people on safety committees. There are people on workers' unions. There are people whose jobs are dedicated to worker safety. So if you're very passionate about that, you should probably invite one of them to sit down in the studio.
That's a good
and ask
argument.
them that question.
Okay, so nothing.
Oh my God. Bro, that just shows you that you cannot talk to somebody like her. Like, no, you can't talk to her. I ain't gonna make it about other people. She doesn't care about this conversation. She doesn't want to fix anything. She don't care about other perspectives. She is shunned off from any other perspective, no matter how reasonable it is. The girl said, she said, maybe you could talk to somebody on a safety committee that actually has a job to figure out ways to make jobs more safe. People that work with unions. And she just, nothing. Bitch, you didn't hear anything she just said. She's literally telling you these are ways we can probably save people's lives and make jobs less dangerous, and Pearl disregard every bit of it. And you look like a fucking idiot. I'm going to read the comments after this.
Because that's in the studio, and ask them that question.
Right.
Okay, so nothing. You're not going to do
Because that's
anything
not
about
my
it?
job.
Okay. I'm just clarifying you're doing the same thing.
No, because I'm more than happy to recognize that it's a problem that should be addressed by somebody whose specialty it is to address that problem.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. This
These
was fun.
cuts, okay, I get it.
You want to tell them your socials? And
Let's watch
your
these
social media,
cuts.
where they can find
I
you
mean,
guys.
these
So
comments.
you can.
Let's look at these comments. You are a gem, rare and unique. Oh, God. Please ask this doctor why there are absolutely no more. Is she a doctor? Oh, yeah, she did say she went to med school. Mandatory paternity test. Oh, my God. Y'all care about the wrong shit. Great interview. I like how Pearl calmly dismantles the arguments from the feminists. This woman is so disrespectful to men. See, this left room for somebody to say some shit like this. This leaves room for people to say some shit like this. I don't like the fact that she left room for this woman's disrespectful to men, because she didn't seem to care about men because she wants to be such a strong feminist. So,
a fighter.
Hold on, you're so pro.
For all of the
is this 13-minute Parker debate, bro? Is that what that is? Is it a good one? I might have seen it. I watched Parker. I don't know if I've seen this one in particular, though. So is that what you meant to send me? I just copied and pasted. It's only 13 minutes. I'll watch that next. Is it a good back and forth, Watts? I can't stand people who don't have children talking about how hard it is. They have no idea. I am not anti-abortion, but I wouldn't consider it healthcare. What she's talking about is elective surgery. It's not contraceptive. She's more invested in winning the argument than understanding the truth. That's Pearl. Why? She's more invested in winning the argument, understanding the truth, making the sound of her voice the weight of wisdom. That was Pearl. These people are sick. Okay. Wait, what I got next? It was Aaron the plumber. Okay. Okay, let's watch this Parker debate with a MAGA.
For all of the
Kenny's mom is
wonderful stuff that is going over there with Zelensky.
Okay, like what?
For one, we do not need to be funding that war.
Okay. So do you think that Ukraine should be Russia?
I believe that they need to fight it out themselves and leave us alone.
Okay, so Ukraine should be Russia because you know that if Ukraine is left alone, it will be Russia, right?
That's their choice. We
Girl,
didn't start that fight, did we?
Their choice. I don't.
it's
I
not
don't
their,
think
it's
they
their
started that fight
choice.
either. But we did sign an
Well, did
agreement.
we start it? Hold on. Did we start it?
No, but we signed an agreement with Ukraine. That
Okay, listen
Kenny's
here,
mom.
young-
Bro, now all I'm thinking about is Kenny's mom.
man. I have twin boys. Okay, and I tell you what, if we go into some
I
bull
just
crap,
see Kenny's mom.
because my children did not sign up to go fight into the military for any freaking reason. They wanted to live their own lives. Okay. I did not.
They're not gonna get
My kids
drafted.
did not sign up to go fight some bullshit war across
I'm
the
not
world
advocating
that
for your
has nothing
kids
to
to
do
fight
with
a war.
us.
Hey, I understand. I'm not advocating for your kids to go fight a war. What I'm advocating.
Well, it sounds like it, and that's how all these Democrats are starting to act like it. They need to stop.
Bro, the hole in her neck is forming right now from the. Calm down, shorty.
Listen to what I'm saying.
They need to stop.
Okay, I
There are people's lives and children that are on the line because you guys want to go over there across the world and go fight a war that has nothing to do with the United States.
Bro, it sounds like she's got the thing where she has to talk through her throat, bro. What the fuck?
States of America, sir.
Yo, she got a voice changer on. And Parker is trying so hard not to laugh right now. What the fuck?
Okay, so in terms of Ukraine in particular, right, it will be Russia if we do not help defend them. We
I
do not
don't
have to send
care.
troops.
My children's lives are more important than sending them over there to a fight that we did not start.
Okay, listen. We signed an agreement with Ukraine
She
called the
won't let
Budapest
him
Memorandum,
talk.
right, which is an agreement that if Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them. Okay? They gave up their nuclear weapons. Now it's our turn to defend them.
Awesome,
that's a
Parker.
deal.
Guess what? I heard that Zelensky was asking for American soldiers to go over there to fight his war. Why don't you get off this TikTok shop and go over there and start fighting in the war for Zelensky? If you're so important and wanting to fight and protect all these people over there in Ukraine, get off your ass and go over there and start putting your boots on the ground then. Because that'll be one less life before my children have to go over there. Do you see where I'm going? But you don't understand
ma'am, I just want to let you know there are no fucking U.S. troops in Ukraine. Zero.
No, but
What are
that's
you
what
talking about?
Zelensky is wanting.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. That's what the fuck J.D. Vance sat there and fucking started getting mad for.
No, it
We're
isn't.
not going to send our troops over there because
The
he
only
can't
way
get
we
his
would send the
shit
troops
under
there.
control.
The only way we would send troops there is if they join NATO, the same way Finland joined NATO. And NATO didn't. NATO joining or Finland joining NATO didn't facilitate like a war between Russia and Finland. So like that would actually be.
But
like
you know what's crazy? I love how like not a lot. I ain't gonna say a lot, but there's a lot of people on the right that get upset about like if we ended up they join NATO and then they end up having American troops on boots on the ground. But yet America's the only people that invoked Article 5 after 9/11. So it's just like we're the only people that have asked other countries to come to our defense, like as far as the military troops from their country. Like we're the only people that have asked for that to happen. And I'm not saying it's wrong that we did. You know, 9/11 probably called for it. That was crazy. So, you know, there's that. But and then they'd be like, we're not having our troops go down there. Shorty, if your kid's not in the military, calm down. Like they're not gonna get drafted. They're not gonna get drafted. So like fuck all that. Like stop. There's not gonna be a draft. And honestly, you don't even know that if Ukraine loses that war or we pull away, then all that's gonna do is further make Russia think that they can do what the fuck they want. And now we really will have World War III. So go figure.
a meaningful thing that Ukraine can do to like actually ensure that like they can stay a country. So like in the same way that you care about your kids, right? You should like the people in Ukraine care about their children and you should care about theirs as well, right? The fact that you don't care about their children, I think is kind of crazy. Like, are you a Christian?
The thing is, did I give birth to those kids? And did I sit there and
Fuck
I
them
take
kids,
18
huh?
years of my life
I'm
to
sorry.
do nothing?
Then tell your
and to sit there and raise those
I'm,
kids?
I'm sorry. Did you like tell your kids not to go into the military?
Yes, sir. My kids do not go into the military. We are
Okay.
not doing that stuff.
Wait. So they're not in the military right now.
So what the fuck
No,
are you?
sir.
is that-
We do not do
I'm
stuff
sorry,
like that in my
what are
house.
you-
we
what are
don't do
fucking
stuff like
screaming
that.
about?
Because what do you think is going to happen if we go into war and freaking Russia gets involved? You guys are
Refuse
like
to give the
so
$5.
freaking
We're not going to war.
blindsided.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm sorry.
guys
We're
are
not
sitting
going to
there
war.
fucking thinking, oh, Putin, we love Putin. We don't love Putin. We don't want our kids to die.
There's no way.
Oh my god. We don't want our kids to die. Bro, I might have to clip that. I might have to clip that part. Oh god, I need that on the soundboard. We don't love Putin. We don't want our kids to die. I have to save that. I have to.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
guys
sorry. We're
are
not
sitting
going to
there
war.
fucking thinking, oh, Putin, we love Putin. We don't love Putin. We don't want our kids to die.
There's no way you're real. I'm sorry. Like you're actually like screaming at me for no reason. Okay.
Get your head out of your ass.
My head's
Go
not
over
in my
there and
ass.
boot up, Parker. Get your fucking
Boot
boots
up?
on, Parker.
Damn, I really don't want to believe that like him and Dean be like paying these people to come on their show and act crazy because this is fucking ridiculous. Like I just can't fathom that these people are really walking on it every day and putting their pants on by themselves. Like I just cannot believe that. Oh my god.
Go over there and boot up, Parker.
Dude, are you serious? Dude, what do you mean I should boot
Yeah,
up?
you think it's fucking funny. Go on ahead, Parker.
Dude, I do think this is funny. You're
Go
screaming at
put
me,
your
telling me
boots
to
on,
boot up.
Parker.
How about you put your boots
Get your
up?
boots on,
How about
Parker.
you go? How about you go?
Bro,
Because
I'm so
I told
glad
my
you said
kids
this.
not to sign up for
Wait,
that shit.
I have a question.
I told you,
I have a
we
question.
don't-
I have a question.
We do not.
I have a question. I have a question.
we
I have a question. I have a
do
question. How do you feel about Donald Trump saying he might use the military to take Panama and Greenland, and he wants to use the U.S. to own Gaza in the long run?
True.
Oh my God! Do you really think that's going to happen, Parker?
Okay, now it's you don't know, you don't think it's gonna happen. now it
Oh
doesn't
my
matter.
god.
Okay, is Russia involved?
What the fuck?
Okay, we're not gonna go into. You think we're gonna go into World War III with Russia because of Democrats? So
Yes.
there's no evidence of that.
Okay, whenever it's time, you just give me a call, big boy. Okay,
What are you talking
you just
about?
let me
Big
know.
boy.
How am I supposed
Whenever
to give
it's
you a
time
call?
for you to
Who
start
are
going over
you?
there,
Who are you? How am I supposed to
whenever
give you a
you
call?
go collecting panhandling money,
I'm
you know,
panhandling.
but there are real people over there, and freaking over there was Zelensky is at. He is
Bro,
looking for boots on the ground, and
She
he said
does
that the other
sound
day.
exactly
He
like
needs your
Kenny's
help, Parker.
mom.
Why don't you go over there and help him, Parker?
Okay,
Bro, when I clip this, I'm gonna make this Parker versus Kenny's mom.
Donald Trump.
Because it's
Oh,
better than
shit.
anything you guys threw out.
Oh my god. Is that say that to you? You really think You really think he's gonna do that? Like, come the fuck on, y'all. Stop. She believes that American troops are gonna have boots on the ground in Ukraine more than she thinks that we won't have American troops in Greenland and Panama if Trump wants it. Get the fuck out of here. Like at this point, we can't put nothing past that man. Like, why should we? He doesn't give a fuck about the economy. He's just doing anything. So why should we? Why would we give him any grace for anything? I at this point, like, how do you willfully tank the economy? Like, the man said, you can't look at the stock market. You can't look at it. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, bro, come the fuck on. Oh, that was a good one, Watts. Oh, thank you so much. Always put those in the suggestion. If you ever see a crash out debate, bro, please put that shit in the suggestions, bro. Please. Oh, crash out debates are fucking hilarious. Whew, that was funny. But let's I'm going to see what's going on with Wack and Aaron the Plumber, bro. Wack 100. I don't know why they're into it, but let's find out together. Hopefully this gives the full breakdown. Usually Chig Smooth is good for that. So
YouTube, Chicks.
Not her face was beat red. That's true.
Hey, chicks move. Appreciate all the
Her face, she was probably like, oh my God.
coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys. Listen, man, I'm not sure what part of the crash out game this is, but this is not it. If you're going to brand yourself as a crash out, you gotta be a crash out all the way. Don't just do it for the cameras. You gotta do it when shit gets real too. Now, most of you guys know Aaron the Plumber. He got popular from the show Pop the Balloons. Ever since then, my man has been on a crazy promo run. If I'm not mistaken, he's actually the first person to become an actual personality from the Pop the Balloon skit. Nobody else that's been on that show has managed to grab people's attention and also be as entertaining as Aaron the Plumber. Lately, it seems like...
Why he can't... I know he got the accent, but damn, he ain't never heard us say plumber. He can't say it.
Like he's been crashing out. He's been getting into fights. Every single platform that I see him on, he's either arguing with somebody, a girl, a man, or just flat out throwing hands. But what happens when a crash out meets another crash out that's been crashing out for the longest of time? We get to find out that some crash outs do have limits. Now, Aaron was invited by Ray J to come to his crib to come do some content.
What?
Looks like they were filming for a TV show when Aaron got into an altercation with the security guard. Now, the security guard ends up spitting on Aaron. Yes, that's correct.
I saw that clip.
And any man knows if somebody spits on you, bro, we gotta throw meat beaters. That's it. No questions asked.
I've never heard throw meat beaters. That was insane.
Now, turns out the guy that spat on Aaron is actually cool with Wack 100. And that's where things get tricky. That's where LA politics come in. Aaron thought he could get his fade and that's it. Some people don't fight. They use other methods to solve their issues. Now, Aaron actually got on the phone with Wack 100 to discuss how he can go about getting his fade. Unfortunately for Aaron, Wack 100 was not in the season of giving and the conversation went left. Which is where Aaron said, you know what? This is getting a little too out of hand. Let me go on social media and post this conversation with me and Wack. Here it is.
All that fake, y'all know that fake gangster.
What you mean, fake gangster what?
Listen,
Fake gangster, yeah, you're gonna have to grab a two. You're gonna have to get a two. You're gonna have to get a two. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna go for the show. Don't pick up no gun. You talking fake gangster? Reach for a gun. For sure. Pull off.
Threatening you. Ain't nobody. Nah, bro. I see what you trying to do, bro.
I'm gonna get on donut for not killing your ass, blood. Mentioning that. You keep whooping blood, we gonna activate blood, homie. Don't nobody give a fuck about that roof. Blood, you cost $1,500, my turn your TV off, blood. You telling me threatening my homeboy, blood, like we give a
Ain't nobody whack. Ain't nobody came to you.
Say that. Blood on power roof, all you gotta do is say that. And we ain't got it. Mama's kids, we don't give a fuck who it is, blood. Don't know out of town. Get at us talking about some violence. You should have knocked blood out when he spit on you and died about it, homie. And he gonna tell you that's real. Fuck about no gun. Spit on you.
Bruh, the first conversation when we had with Luce, bruh, you said that it was out of pocket. You said it's not wolfing. I'm just trying to get a fade. I'm just trying to get a fade. Now, talking about killing me.
You want a fade, blood? Where you at? Cause you doing a lot of wolfing like you running something, homie.
I didn't say I'm coming to you. Came to you.
We gonna give you your fade. Where you at?
Nah, nigga ain't finna meet you now. Nigga, you talking about kill.
We gonna give you your fade because you whooping it. You gonna humble yourself and we gonna get to what you talking about. I told Luke said, what's up with dude?
Yeah, Watts, like, this is not the Aaron the Plumber we see everywhere else. He get involved with some real gangsters, and now all of a sudden, I just want a fade. You talking about killing me. All I want is a fade. Bitch. Like, I don't want, I get it. Nobody wants to die, but you, like, run around fighting people all the time. Somebody go up the ante at some point, my nigga. Like, you can't just go around provoking people. Now, I don't know what happened between him and that security guard and who started it or whatever. The security guard did spit on him, which is assault. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, You be with the shits any other time. Now Wack, now if he talking about fighting and Wack said no, I'm gonna kill you, I wouldn't go there either. But I'm not the one that's always acting like I be down for ready for whatever. Cause I mean, nigga, somebody gonna up the ante on you. Don't ask for the fade no more. He say he gonna kill you. Just don't worry about the fight no more, bro. Just fuck it. Just like he said, humble yourself. If you don't want to die, nigga, humble yourself. I don't know what to tell you.
Bro, you been trying to be cool with this. I ain't never seen you this calm. I said, dude doing a lot of crazy whooping. Like, don't go knock a nigga mama down. Just send a message. I don't know what's up with dude.
Now Aaron wrote in the caption, Wack wants to kill me and my mom because I wanted to fight his coward homie for spitting on me and getting a gun. I told him there are Bloods, Crips, and Parus upset about me getting spit on and they want to get active. Me, I'm just trying to fight with no guns. I don't want anyone to get shot. Now my mom's life is threatened than mine. Y'all can kill me, but you're still some cowards that need guns because I'll fight all of y'all. They don't do this to other gang members. They want to kill a plumber for being a man.
Oh my God, I just hope he don't say plumber anymore. Fucking Christ.
What's right? Ray J needs his ass kicked. You don't invite someone somewhere, then allow something like that to happen. I gotta cancel my bookings because they might be trying to kill me like he said in the recording. Now, the incrimination does not stop there, you guys. Then Aaron goes on to post the text he sent to Wack 100 where he told them, big bro, we waiting on you to tell us what time it is. If he ain't gonna fade, then...
Wait, how is this what Aaron sent if it's gray? Or is it... Ain't this the color for receiving a message? Like, well, I don't know if he has... Yeah, that's an iPhone. How could Aaron post what he sent and it's gray? He said, nigga, do you know where you live? Does he live in LA? What? Does he live in LA? Okay. Chig said Aaron what he said.
Then Aaron goes on to post the text he sent to Wack 100 where he told them, big bro, we waiting on you to tell us what time it is. If he ain't gonna fade, then we gonna get active. I got niggas mad as fuck from everywhere, ready to step behind me. Bloods, Crips, Parus, even Mexicans. I want my fade, but if I can't get it, somebody gotta pay for that shit. Respectfully, we ain't going for that. Niggas was foul and I need that.
See, I don't get how Aaron posted that in his gray. Can somebody help me understand how Aaron's message is gray and he posted it? Am I the only one confused about that? Oh, yeah, true. Why? I was saying, because, you know, some states it's harder to get your hands on a gun. Some of them niggas really don't be caring. I mean, niggas get guns, of course, but, you know, it all depends. But I need to understand how this message is gray, because that doesn't make sense. This looks like Aaron doing another stupid plot to just be lying again. This looks like another lie. Because why is your message on the left side in gray? That makes absolutely no sense. And did you send that to Wack? Because why would Wack send you back the message?
Aaron then writes in the comments saying, yo, I told Wack it's Parus, Crips, Bloods. A lot of people upset about Ray J setting me up to get spit on. They want to get active. I want to avoid the bloodshed and catch a fade. He started talking about gunplay after, but wasn't on that with J Diggs. On God, niggas pick and choose their battles. Wack acting tough with a plumber, but don't address none of his street beef.
So he can't say plumber, and he kept saying plumber.
Aaron also posted this text with Wack 100, where Wack told him, now you know what's on. Bitch ass nigga, you call me about this dumbass shit. Aaron tells him, well, hey, buddy. You're going to jail now, pal. Wack told him, try harder, bozo. Glad you texted this. The world will know you're a mark now. Aaron says, I'm a plumber, not a gang member. I'll post it myself. Hey, Aaron, welcome to the internet, my brother. I get you want to expose this. You want to vent. You're frustrated, angry, most likely paranoid because you said you got to cancel some of your bookings. But there's no way you tell Wack 100 first, I want my fade, but if I can't get it, somebody gotta pay for that shit. And think Wack 100 is going to take it lightly. You basically sent him a threat. How do you expect him to respond to you? If you want your fade, you gotta keep it between you and the person that you want to fade with. Saying somebody has to pay for something that
I cannot get over the text being gray. I can't. Is anybody gonna ask that question? We the people, the culture rocking with Aaron. Psh, nigga, y'all don't know. These people that support Aaron, they can't know all the lore that we saw within the red pill. That's the only way you can be defending Aaron if you don't know his history. And look, nobody's scared of Wack. Aaron out here doing everything besides plumbing. Nobody gives a fuck about why this text is gray. Like, god damn. No, Wack don't ever fight either. I don't know why he always... Wack don't never fight, but he be talking crazy all the time. I don't even believe him and Sharp ever fought either. Everybody on Aaron's side, this is crazy. They just don't know. But I need to know why this fucking shit is gray.
That person, that's where you went wrong with this. Now, I'm not sure what broadcasting this on social media is supposed to do besides getting people upset for exposing their business and also putting eyes on you. At some point, you gotta leave the street shit alone if you're not ready to take it there. You've made your money. You're now a social media personality. You don't need to feel like you gotta catch a fade for somebody spitting on you if you're not ready to take it there. You gotta look at somebody like Charleston White who talks shit about everybody, but he knows how to move. Nobody's looking at you as a plumber anymore, brother. That life is done. Right now, you're a social media personality, and you gotta take yourself seriously as a social media personality. That means getting a manager, security with you at all times, and of course, avoiding any street beefs if that's not really you. I truly hope you and Wack squash your beef, but with this post, you really just took it there with Wack. Listen, man, you guys get in the comments below. Who do you guys think was wrong between Wack and Aaron the Plumber? Post your comment.
Oh my God, he snuck in another plumber. Fuck. Oh, man, bro. What is going on? Okay. Oh, I forgot I had this one next. Aaron called into No Jumper to speak on his argument.
We got Aaron the Plumber. I'm not going to mess up my my ass.
When the fuck did Lush get back on Wack? On No Jumper? I haven't watched I stopped watching No Jumper when it felt like a drama show. Like, when it was all that infighting of the show and people getting fired and that shit with Lush and all that back and forth shit. Like, that's when I had stopped watching it because it just felt fake. Everything felt stupid and there was nothing happening. And now Lush is back. And why does he look like H3?
Motherfucking way. Hey, man, I'm with Loose Cannon. You know what I'm saying? In a real way, man, we turning this.
That's how long I ain't watched if Lush been back. I stopped watching around the time Lush got fired. That's when I stopped watching.
Yeah, I mean, for the moment, you just got me and Lush. Oh, and Brick is here now. Okay. Yeah, what's going on? So, Aaron, you're living in fear.
He looks like
life
Ethan
because Wack 100 has said he's going to knock your mama down. But then you're also hanging out with Loose Cannon, who, as we know, is Wack 100's top shooter. What's going on? This is complicated.
Loose Cannon ain't never shot nothing in this
Listen, Aaron is with Loose Cannon. He's untouchable. Nobody's gonna fuck with him, and it's going up. It's like,
who the fuck is that? Aaron is Loose Cannon. He's untouchable. Who the fuck is that?
Loose Cannon. He's untouchable. Nobody's gonna fuck with him, and it's going up. It's like that.
So you're going against Wack?
Wait, hold on, Luce. This is different from our combo last night, bro.
What'd you just say?
We all good.
Oh, so you patched it up with Wack?
Of course, but nobody will be touching Aaron. Nobody's gonna play with him. Nobody gonna do none of that.
I'll play with his butt,
he's always eating on your motherfucker.
Did he say I'll play with his butt? What the fuck he just say? Brick, what?
He will be touching Aaron. Nobody's gonna play with him. Nobody gonna do none of that.
I'll play with his butt,
he's always eating on your.
What is happening?
He should get his ass whooped.
He's got some noodles. He's got some broccoli. But wait, so Brick Baby is saying that he's gonna actually finger Aaron's ass and play tic-tac-toe inside of his body.
If you protecting him, nigga, I'm finna play with Booka, nigga.
off of Brick Baby's head and
What
make
the
him
hell
wipe his
is
own ass
happening?
with it.
Hey, listen.
Listen.
I'm gonna be
need that,
doing
Brick
all
Baby.
the ass wiping. Don't worry about it. Watch when I catch you, nigga.
Yo, Aaron,
What
is
the
easy.
fuck is going
Aaron
on?
gonna fuck you up. I'm sorry.
Hey, so hey, you can't be tied up.
Off the back.
Aaron, you can't be tied up.
No BDSM, sweetie.
Sweetie.
Sweetheart. Hookah butt, stop that.
Yo, I think Aaron might give 4 extras a run for his money.
He's a big guy.
Hey, Aaron,
What's happening?
you don't think you can be
shout
tied up, bro?
Nigga, hey, free Spody face. I just got off the phone with Spody. You know what I'm saying? I was on the yard with Brodesky, nigga. Spody will tell you, nigga, really push this shit, nigga, for real, bro.
Hey, where you from?
We pushing positive, man.
Where you from, brother?
Nigga, we pushing positive. Nigga, we pushing positive. Nigga try to throw a negative.
Nah, I'm really playing. I'm really playing around. But hey, what do you talking to Spody face got to do with you talking to me, nigga? Dead homies. What the fuck is you saying that for? What's that supposed to do?
Brick, shut the fuck up.
All right, I was just being cool with cuz. I was playing at first cuz on 6 cell crib, nigga. You better get some structure about yourself. I don't give a
Saying
fuck
he's untouchable is crazy.
picture you been to, nigga.
Listen,
Dead homies.
shut the fuck up, Hookah Butts. Cuz is with me. He's untouchable, and that's what.
Untouchable. Who the fuck is this? I need to see what
Aaron,
this nigga look like.
Aaron,
Loose cannon.
Aaron, I got a question because we haven't spoke since this shit cracked off. This is Lush, bro. So when do you feel like it was cowardly when bro spit on you when you weren't looking?
Yo, as soon as you turned around, he spit on your back. Big old loogie.
Do you feel like that was cowardly or not?
Yo, and you wiped it off with your hand real quick.
I feel like, hey, Adam, you feel me?
Dude look goofy as hell. You a producer, Char?
No, I'm just saying the way you wiped it off was so savage.
No, look, regardless, bro. Like I'm asking a serious question.
Nigga, hey, it made him bigger. It made him.
That don't matter. I'm just saying.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, regardless of what transpired on that video, nigga, Ray J's out of pocket because when do motherfuckers ever invite somebody to their house and let the security guards trip with them?
No,
If I was really drunk, hold on, bro. If I was really drunk and tripping, you supposed to be de-escalate the situation. Like, bro, you tripping? Let me get you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I call for a fade, nigga, and niggas got to reaching for guns and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that shit, bro.
I can't believe you could just have a gun on a reality show.
Hold on, bro. I'm tired of black genocide, nigga. Put the motherfucking hammers down and put your knuckles up. Nigga.
No, Aaron.
Win, lose, or draw, nigga, like Pokemon, I gotta catch them on, nigga. If niggas really tripping, like Pokemon, I gotta catch them on, nigga.
Aaron.
What the fuck?
He's talking.
Oh, shit.
Aaron, so I got a question, bro. So is it true that it was over a cell phone charger? Can you please explain? Because this is my big question. What led up to the moment before the fight? We saw what happened.
So look. Aaron
We
was
saw
fucking this bitch. Hold on, I got this.
No, Luce, I want to hear Aaron answer, bro.
So if he Wack sidekick, why is he kicking it with Aaron?
Wait, what?
I had the porn star bitch upstairs. I was trying to get the threesome popping. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't enough for me, so I came downstairs. I came
for another dude.
For the other one, I tried to a dude.
No, I'm asking you.
A female.
Okay.
I was cracking her motherfucking back upstairs. She wasn't enough for me, so I went downstairs. I said, "Where's my charger?" This nigga said, "Bitch ass nigga, niggas got money, niggas won't steal your charger."
War turtle.
Nigga, dead homies, nigga, that's shy shit. That don't intimidate me, nigga. That charge me up.
Did you guys have a negative interaction before he called you a bitch at that moment?
You said what?
Did you guys have a negative interaction before he said BAN at that moment?
He never was on that type of time with me. I didn't even really talk to Brodesky. You feel me? I smoked with him. You know what I'm saying? I smoked with him. We had a couple conversations, but he was never on that type of time. And bottom line, at the end of the day, like, let me ask this. Luce, you seen how I was precedent, nigga. If a nigga rock up on you and a nigga's all up in your ear talking about some, nigga, do something, nigga. Do something. For one, I'm not finna get off on you in somebody else's house. Nigga, I'm a guest here. If you really tripping, nigga, on my mama, like I told him, sock me in my mouth right now.
No, you did it at Erica Mena house.
Aaron, you looked like you were like really aggressive at that moment, bro. You were like in his face. You were down to fight, and it seemed like he was somewhat intimidated. And then the moment you looked away, he spit on you.
Spit on me, nigga.
Why you telling him to sock you in the mouth, though?
Now, it would have been a whole different story if the nigga spit in my face, and then I turned around like, no, I'm at that. Nigga, you spit when a nigga walked away, too.
But why you just didn't fire his shit up?
Look, and then I turned my back on him, so I don't know if he got his pole on him. I don't know what.
You knew he had his pole on him.
I'm finna get up out of here. Nigga, you took it to a whole nother level. I'm finna get up out of here, nigga. And this is a lesson for all young black men out there. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever be too fucking tough in the situation and get your ass killed. Nigga, the only thing that matters is living to see tomorrow, nigga. It could be double back activities after that, nigga. And remember, he's not a gangbanger. He's a non-affiliate. So he have a right. You get what I'm saying?
I thought he was in a gang in Stockton.
Nigga, no, he's not. Gang. I'm not a part
of it. Oh, okay, I got you.
He spit on him. Yeah, Hold on. Yeah. He spit on his neck. He ain't spit on his face. When he turned around and he spit on him.
Ooh. Ooh.
And I don't know what happened, why they didn't actually fight. You see, he squared up, but I don't know why they didn't fight.
Ooh.
I don't know why they didn't actually fight.
Right.
I'm not gang banging.
He don't have no option, Luce. If he fuck with, if
I'm a motherfucking plumber.
if you,
I'm a plumber. You can't be out here steady talking about you a plumber, but yet you be trying to fight any and everybody that you feel like is wronged you and shit. Like, fuck, you're not a plumber. You're a shit starter at some point. You're just a shit starter. Like, you're a social media personality, love it or hate it, but you're not a plumber, bro. You ain't been plumbing shit. You're not making plumbing tutorials. I haven't seen any referrals for your services, bro. God damn. Yeah, I don't know what, like, for him to spit on him while he walking away and he knew dude was in between them, that shit's kind of crazy. I don't know why he didn't. I guess, like he said, he felt like he had a pole on him, but I don't know. I don't know. You still square it up, and if you was gonna square up, you should have just knocked him out. I don't know why the fight did. If they fought or if he swung or anything, didn't get recorded.
Plumber.
Yeah, remember.
if you in the streets, bro, on the dead homies, you putting shit on the dead homies and all that. That don't mean you.
Yeah,
If you can put some shit on the dead homies, you cannot call the police on 60 crib. No, you don't got an option to be a civilian on neighborhood crib. You know.
Aaron's not a civilian. Let's be real here. He's not a civilian.
Oh, I thought you said he got an option to call the police.
He's a tuna. He's a
turned up
non-affiliate.
No.
Even if I did, nigga, this is another thing. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Even if I did, nigga, so what, nigga? I'm not stupid, nigga. I'm not finna go to war with 200 niggas and I only got 5 niggas. Nigga, when it's war, it ain't no motherfucking rules.
Aaron
nigga.
had a heart in the
And
situation. Let's be real, dog.
Snitching is doing a crime with somebody, nigga, and telling to get out of jail because you done did a crime. Nigga, I got niggas I done cracked skulls with, nigga. And niggas still free today, nigga.
Yeah. But how much did you pay Luce to defend you here? I don't get that. Like, how is Luce defending him?
Hold on. All I'm saying is,
no,
you in the streets, you can't call the police. He already cleared that up.
Look, Luce, how are you defending?
I don't like that. You can't just be like, if you in the streets, you can't call the police. No, that's not how that shit work. Like he said, a regular nigga can want to fight. That ain't got shit to do with gang activity. And if a nigga just want to fight, he just want to fight. And you can't say you can't call the police when niggas is threatening to kill you, especially if you're not a gangster on some gang shit. You want to fight because you feel like you got disrespected. Now, I don't like Aaron the plumber, but somebody spit on you, you fighting. And he want to fight. Why the fuck is you acting like he gotta die because a nigga spit on him and he wanna fight him? That don't mean he gotta die. And he's not a gangster. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know. He's not in the gang. He's not trying to make this some gang shit. And you can't tell him he can't call the police when somebody threatening his life. He just wanna fight. Those two different things.
Him, Luce. I don't get it.
I'm not listen. Cuz is not doing no police shit. That's why Cuz is with me. And at the end of the day, if somebody say something to Cuz, we're gonna wreck through them. So at the end of the day, it's like we doing it a whole new clean slate. Cuz ain't doing none of that. And Booker, but shut the fuck up because when I see you,
no neck having ass buff ass nigga. Fuck you and Loose Cannon. What? I'm gonna bring a shower shoe when you come up here. Bring a shower, spank both of y'all with shower shoes. Tie you niggas up.
Put the gun down, nigga, and squabble me.
Man, I'm finna bring a shower shoe. I ain't say nothing about no gun.
No, I'm just saying, no, bro. I'm just
fucking
saying,
with you.
Nigga, we don't know jumper. I'm putting this out in the universe, nigga. Aaron, nigga, fuck that. I don't want to see no black man get hurt, nigga. I don't want to see nobody get shot, nigga.
No,
listen,
I'm doing, you preaching some real shit.
I'm doing all the shooting and everything like that. Fuck that.
Luce is the best on the internet right now.
You're a best.
Him and Wack and everybody is good. Shout out to Donut. We're gonna line that up. They're gonna squabble.
Yeah, that's the fate we want to see.
Yeah.
Fuck anything else.
Yeah.
Donut versus
Donut,
Aaron.
the guy who spit on him.
Yeah. That's the fate.
That's not Devil Donut, right?
Not I said the same thing. No.
My new record, Get Jiggy. Listen to my motherfucking new song. You know what I'm saying?
We're not going to do that.
On YouTube. Aaron the Plumber spit on me, bro.
I listened to the one about Eric Mena the other day.
Yo, by the way,
he took that shit down too. Watts. I was mad as hell. I was gonna watch that shit, but he took it down. I don't know why. I didn't even get to listen to it. The song about Eric Mena.
Aaron, I've been talking about Erica Mena's bad breath for a decade before you, bro. We know that bitch stank. You feel me? Like,
hey, is Donut light skin? Like a light skin?
No, Donut from Queen Street.
That's what it is. That's what I said. Queen Street.
Yeah.
He's a big ass.
Man, Donut ain't finna fight you.
He spit on him.
Donut, look. I'm not gonna lie. Did you see the clip, Rick? No, we should show Rick the clip.
Oh man.
I don't even think Aaron Page is still up. I think Aaron's whole page is gone.
I shouldn't play those. Crazy.
No, but at least show it to him. Yeah.
Cougar Butts, answer the question.
Cougar Butts.
Rick, after you watch the film, my nigga, tell me, bro, if a nigga's pressing you like this, nigga, all up in your face, nigga, you ain't finna get off? Nigga, the first thing a nigga say is, nigga, I'm finna carry my gun. Nigga, you's a bitch, nigga.
I'm not gonna lie. Aaron was in. It looked like even though
Adam
Aaron's
and
smaller
Wack.
than Donut, he looked like he was kind of intimidating Donut for a second, to be honest. I mean,
I wish Too Gangster for YouTube gave a fuck about you like you give a fuck about me.
Yeah. Too Gangster for you.
Oh shit. I ain't gonna watch this, but it's a 3-hour podcast of No Jumper. 3 hours ago. 20 hours ago. Fresh and Fit was back on No Jumper.
It's been a minute, man.
It has.
Yeah.
We got to talk about all that.
Yeah, we got
Being canceled, disrespecting Jewish people and black women if they're breaking up. I ain't gonna watch this on here, but I'm gonna watch this bitch probably. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up watching this at some point. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe it'll be some clippable moments. I don't know. Oh boy. Okay. I think we got enough for the context for Aaron versus Wack. But this is stupid. He don't need to die because he wants to fucking fight. But part of me thinks this is all for show anyway, and Aaron's just trying to get his name out there as much as possible. Them niggas probably all working together for this shit. Just like Tron, because you said Luce's Wack's mans, I don't see him just kicking it with Aaron if that's his mans. Like, I don't see that happening. I got loose hair. Is that a gray? I can't see where it's at. Okay, fuck it. Cleaning out the pipes. Yeah, he be cleaning out a whole bunch of pipes probably. Clearing them bitches out. But yeah. I'm not convinced fully that this shit is legit. I think that there's some level of I think it's possible that there could be some pay for play shit going on, like paying Whacking them to help get his name out there and keep making drama for both the booty pipe and the pipe. So I think I don't know, man. I think yeah. It's something about this is weird. Like, especially because, like I said, Toon being his Loose, what the fuck? I said Toon. Loose being Wack's man make this just not as believable to me. The last thing we're gonna get into is, well, unless something else comes up, like Watt sent me that funny ass video. Birdman talking about
Deborah Wilson,
another anti-woke is probably a play. Same thing happened with Wack and Sharp. Yeah, with Wack and Sharp, I think that was a play too. Like, I don't believe these niggas. Like, this shit don't seem, something about it is just all stupid. Cause why even get involved to the extent that he is over him getting spit on? Why would Wack get involved to that extent? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no reason Wack should even be involved to that extent. That he talking about killing niggas and all that shit. Like, that shit seem weird. It don't make sense. But Birdman talking about another content creator that doesn't seem to like Deborah Wilson getting roles. Go figure.
Deborah Wilson, the longest original member of Mad TV, has recently come under scrutiny on the internet. No, she didn't perform a racist gesture. No, she didn't rug pull people with a meme coin. No, she didn't sleep with someone underage at an elusive billionaire's island. Those are all things the current administration is accused of. No,
Good jab.
Deborah is guilty of doing her job a little too well. You see, recently, Hideo Kojima released a 10-minute trailer for his upcoming game, Death Stranding 2, and Deborah had the audacity to be cast in that game by Hideo Kojima and the gall to appear in that trailer for about 4 seconds. This insidious behavior, of course, sent anti-woke loser champions like Endymion into a tizzy.
Oh my God, enough of this woman being in everything, man. What the fuck? 10-minute trailer, and this dipshit finds the few seconds with a black woman to complain about when Troy fucking Baker is also in this trailer, and he's in way more games than Deborah. That's very true. Troy Baker be every fucking where. Troy Baker is everywhere. 434 credits on 253 games. Jesus Christ.
With him exclaiming, "Oh my God, enough of this woman being in everything, man." See, the problem is that Deborah Wilson is too good at acting, so she gets cast in a lot of projects. Too many projects, according to some. Like this guy who thinks we all have had enough of black women. I mean, who hasn't? Am I right?
We'll continue.
8% of video game protagonists? That's entirely too much. They only make up 7% of the population. That means they are overrepresented by 1%. That's one too many. Sure, she may be really good at the job, but she isn't super hot, so she shouldn't be cast in 63 video games, of which her likeness has only been used 8 times. Remember, 8%, but only 7% of the population? 63 video games, and she shows her face in 8 of them? That's almost 13%. And 13% is a little too much. But 13, now we're talking. Am I right, Gino?
We moving on, Nicole.
But anti-woke tap dance, champion Atreus tells us that we have a black and bald bitch problem, so let's hear what he has to say.
We have a black
You
and
too, we
bald
have a
bitch
problem,
problem?
okay? We got a dastardly, I don't even know if that's a word. I heard it somewhere. White people, you said it first. I took it from you. I don't know what that is. I don't. It's a problem, okay?
I agree. We do have a problem. And no, it's not the gaudy cowboy hat with the dingy t-shirt or the USB microphone held to the boom arm with Velcro scrunchies.
Oh my God, I'm dead. Bro, that shit, no. Bro, get you the fucking adapter, bro. Yeah, him being black just does not help. Fam, this is petty. This is actually insane. I have that microphone too. And I believe it has an adapter for you to screw onto the silver piece that he doesn't have right there. Like or maybe his the thing broke. He probably got something that's broke, but this is a fool. You should have replaced that. This is actually crazy. I would be hiding that shit out of the camera, cause that's insane. The cooning is gonna be immaculate. Yeah, you already know.
It's the fact that we can't see your ISOM comic book due to the glare. You need to proudly display poorly rated comic books by other anti-woke groups. Can't see
Bro,
your
I can't believe this microphone.
Or the USB microphone held to the boom arm with Velcro scrunchies. It's the fact that we can't see your ISOM comic book due to the glare. You need to proudly display poorly rated comic books by other anti-woke champions, not hide them behind the physics of light. Come on, bro, be better.
We have a problem in gaming right now
that
where there is
shit
one
bogus,
specific
bro.
actress that is constantly being recycled over and over and over and over again.
Cynthia Erivo? I mean,
it's just funny because I said this about like Chris Pratt and Chris Evans. Like when they was getting all these, like when Chris Pratt was Mario, which I will admit I could live with. I lived with Chris Pratt as Mario. Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. That was actually not bad too. But them niggas is getting casted in every fucking thing. And I just felt like there's more people that could do these type of roles. Like give these roles to actual voice actors. They're actors that use their face and likeness in a lot of shit. I feel like there's a lot of voice actors that only do voice acting. One being Deborah Wilson. She's for the most part, exclusively doing voice acting. And I know a lot of them look for work for a lot. So I just feel like the actors that use their likeness more, keep doing that shit. You already get casted in hella roles. with your likeness. In voice acting, I'm certain don't pay as much. So I just felt like voice actors should get more opportunities, which is why Troy Baker gets a lot of roles and Deborah Wilson gets a lot of roles. And I said, I'm like, damn, Troy being everything, but it ain't like I'm sick of Troy Baker being casted for everything. And the funny thing about this is, like he just said, Deborah's face isn't even in half of the shit that her voice is in. Her face is only being shown so many times when she gets the roles.
I haven't seen her in any video games, but she is on the thumbnail, so this must be true.
She's in everything. She's in every game. She's voice acting everything. And I don't know how she's constantly getting jobs because there's not one single character that she's done where anybody champions as like, oh my God, my favorite character.
I thought Cynthia was pretty good in Wicked, and she was my favorite character in that movie. I feel called out, is what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? She's been in like games where you're like, okay, I mean, like she's there and, that's it. We don't care. But with the recent revealing of Death Stranding 2, which nobody cares about.
I know, right? Only 1.8 million views in 2 days? That pales in comparison to your spirit and intellect. Yes, pales in comparison to your insight. Numbers don't matter. Feelings over statistics, I always say.
She's in that shit too. Why? Okay? And the conversation around it has stirred up some things. And we got to talk about it. So before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Okay, there's something going on with the algorithm, and we need all of your support. Okay,
dude, that's what I'm saying. You made the anti-woke thumbnails, and you're hitting all the anti-woke talking points. Why the hell is the algorithm hating on you? You're making the same content as other content creators. Why isn't YouTube rewarding your hard work with the views you clearly deserve? The Matrix is obviously attacking you, bruh.
So here it is, okay? Endymion put out a tweet after it was revealed that Deborah Wilson, I believe that's what her name is. Hold on, let's look her up really quick. Let's make sure that's actually her name. Matter of fact, I don't want to get rid of that because that's actually part of our story. So I'm going to come here. There she is. There she is. Deborah Wilson, okay? American actress and comedian, okay? Does anybody know any of her jokes?
Well, yeah. She was on Mad TV, and she was pretty good on the show.
Whitney screws up the classics.
What the worm feel now?
Listen as Whitney screws up your favorite classics over and over again.
Who told you stop the music? Who told you stop? Bitch, who's
Fam, I miss Mad TV. Mad TV was so good. Like, I can't believe SNL has been going on for this long and Mad TV just got the boot. I don't know what happened. Like, I loved Mad TV. I never got into SNL, but I hate that, man. I love Mad TV. I might have to get those on Blu-ray or something. If that's an option.
I'm just smoking on the dock of the bay.
But yeah, who has even seen that clip? It's only been viewed 1.2 million times. But see, it took 15 years to get to that 1.2 million, right? You earned your 400 views the right way. And you probably thought comedian meant stand-up comedian. I can see how you got them confused.
Do you still
they
watch
both have
SNL,
comedian
Nicole?
in the name. Very common mistake.
62 years old, don't know, like, why is this woman, like, constantly in our face? Okay, so let's come back. Endymion says, oh my God, enough of this woman being in everything, man. And I concur. I mean, like, she's literally in everything. I'm tired of seeing the bitch. It's annoying.
Yeah, she's literally in everything. I just streamed Split Fiction, and she wasn't in that, but she does appear in literally every other game. Astrobot just won Game of the Year, and I didn't see her in that one, but her being in literally everything is kind of annoying. Speaking of Game of the Year, she was definitely not in any of the last 10 Game of the Year winners, but her face grinds my gears for some reason. I totally feel you, dog.
And we have this problem in Hollywood right now called blackballed bitch syndrome. I don't know what the fuck you niggas is on between Jodie Turner, Cynthia Erivo, and this bitch. Like, what is up with y'all?
Right? Like, who the hell finds this attractive? Damn. I see what y'all were saying about her playing Storm.
Y'all don't want to put no attractive black women in anything. But you get these blackball bitches that's like fucking queer and shit, and you want to tell me there's no agenda? Stop it.
Wait, Jodie is queer?
Bro.
We have to let her ex-husband know this information. Oh, that's why it's ex-husband. Damn, bro, you're thinking in 4D. So that's why Deborah and her husband split up, because she's queer and the agenda took precedence. See, these women were obviously closeted and dated and married men to hide the fact that they liked women on the low, like Cynthia. See, I'm on your wavelength, bro. Gamma. That's why I'm green.
You had this person respond, so first y'all hate DEI, but here's a woman that has proven time and time again that she is an excellent actress and great at doing video game roles. That's the reason she keeps getting roles. I thought y'all cared about merit. Nigga.
I wonder what he finna say, but that's the argument. Y'all wanna, it's literally about if you're black or a woman or gay, they don't want you involved, period. Stop acting like you give a fuck. That's a good argument. He said, she's proven she has the merit. She gets the opportunities, and you're still complaining. What the fuck?
First of all, I would challenge that. First of all, let me come back. I would challenge that. Where was the great acting performance? Just
the world. This is Trump's DEI free world, Nicole. That's what it is. This is what America. Excuse me. This is what America wanted. Everybody shitting on everybody that looks like them.
Because she's been in everything doesn't mean her acting is superb.
Right? She was hired over 60 times by many different casting directors, but that doesn't mean she has talent.
Oh my God.
They hired her because she did a good Whitney Houston impression. Like, who can't do that? I mean, I can't, and you probably can't either, but like, there has to be other women that can. And she probably beat them out in an audition because who the hell's writing roles with Deborah Wilson in mind? But that doesn't mean she's good at her job. She's just getting jobs because.
Have you ever heard of the term industry plant? Nobody knows where this bitch came from. Nobody knows where this
just called Deborah Wilson an industry plant, bro. Because I don't know how old this nigga is. He looks like he should be around my age, so he should know what Mad TV is. And all he's probably going off of is seeing her recently, and because her face has been in quite a few games in the past like 3-ish years. We've seen her face more, but she's been doing voices for decades. And you're saying she's an industry plant? Bro, she's 62 years old. Who gets an industry plant that's 62? That don't even make no fucking sense.
Bitch is known for nothing.
I mean, I know her from Mad TV, but I wasn't watching for her, of course. My favorite character is Miss Swan.
I mean the man who robbed this place today.
I mean, we used to be in school, when we was that's why we used to troll when we was younger. We used to be like no matter what somebody say, we used to be like, he looking like a man. If you didn't want to respond to what they say, you'd be like, he looking like a man. Maybe he's 25. I don't know. He could be younger. The facial hair be throwing me off, so that's what I don't be knowing. I didn't have that much facial hair when I was younger, so I don't know. But so yeah. Anyway, let's hear Miss Swan.
What did he look like?
Yeah, okay, he looked like a man.
Look like a man.
See, she definitely needs to be in voice roles.
Oh God,
outside of Family Guy,
like a man,
and Power Rangers, and Beetleborgs, and Robot Chicken. And
she's just in shit. For what? What is she good at? What did she do?
What do you mean? She's a voice actress and she's great at it. What the fuck is he talking about? I wonder before he made this video, did he take time to look at anything that she's done? It'd be different. He'd be like, man, I saw her in Star Wars. I saw her in Rockay City. I think she was in that. But I think she was in Wolfenstein as well. And it was like, yeah, I saw her a few of these games. Like, what else has she done? And then you'll see that she's in like 80-something games or whatever the fuck the number is.
She's just in shit.
This man is asking the real questions. What the hell does she do besides get cast after auditioning really well? Is that like the only criteria for voice acting, being a good voice actor? What kind of shit is that?
Right.
Wokeness. That's what kind of shit that is.
Nobody can point to a single performance from this woman and say, yeah, that's a great actress. Not one, okay?
So they did nominate her for a British Academy Game Award last year for her performance in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. But A, she's not British, so it doesn't count. And B, she was only nominated. She didn't win, which makes her a loser, unlike my boy Atreus here. Facts.
But that's not even the point. The point is that we're tired of seeing her. And people said the same thing about...
I don't know why Birdman shouldn't have even included that because that was a bad point. She didn't win no award, so it makes it look like she's not that good. But she's usually always in some type of supporting role. But she's very good at what she does. Like, I can't recall her being a main role in anything. But regardless, everybody's position isn't to be the main role of everything. She's a great supporting voice actress. That's what she does. She does it extremely well. I've never seen her give a bad performance in any of her games.
About what is it, Oscar Isaac? People are saying the same thing about what's the dude's name playing? He was the Mandalorian, and now he's like
Pedro Pascal. Yeah, Pedro Pascal's been getting a lot of roles too. I wish they kept the last. Nicole, the Birdman is he's good. I watch everything he makes. Like, he's good at this shit. He's a voice actor too, so You know, he knows how to get into a character. So, but Pedro, I wish they didn't switch him out for Mr. Fantastic. The Mr. Fantastic from the Multiverse of Madness, I was happy to see a new face, and he looked like him. Pedro, I mean, to be fair, Mr. Fantastic doesn't have a set look. Over like all his renditions, he hasn't had this look that you can expect. But I really like the guy that they had for Mr. Fantastic in the Multiverse of Madness. Granted, this is a different universe, so they probably had to get somebody else, but I didn't want Pedro. I'm sure he'll be fine, but I just didn't want him.
Fantastic. Why can I not remember this nigga's name?
Pedro Pascal. And yeah, I see where you're going with that. Pedro was in 5 movies in 2024. Deborah was in 5 games in 2024. Yeah, I get it. I mean, we only saw her face in Suicide Squad, and the other 4, she was basically unrecognizable. But yeah, 1 is too many. If we go back to 2023.
Oh, I didn't know she's Ursula. And see, I didn't even know Deborah Wilson's Ursula from fucking Speedstorm.
In 7 games. And out of those, her likeness was used twice. Yeah, that's right. 2 out of 7. Those other 5 games, they don't even count because these 2 matter the most. One of those was the game she was nominated for, so that's important, right? And the other one was Forspoken, a game that didn't even sell, you know, because of the wokeness. And don't even make me go back to 2022 and point out how in the 4 games she was in that year, none of them resembled her, but like she was definitely in those games. I'm so sick of seeing her 3 times in 3 years.
I said, nigga, get the fuck out of here. The gripe is that everyone is sick of seeing her ass. Nobody gave a fuck about her acting. That shit ain't good enough to compensate for the fact that she's not appealing to look at. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, this is such an incel take. Like, she's not appealing to look at, so why is she getting casted? What the fuck is this? This is the weirdest shit I've ever heard. We don't want to see you unless you're attractive. What the hell is, what?
It's a fact.
That is a fact that a 62-year-old woman is not appealing to look at. I mean, I can't get off to Seer Junda, a character that's not exactly supposed to provide titillation, but you know what I mean? We're in space, for Christ's sake. Where the space hoes at? Super witty, big titty space kitty? Y'all played that game on Newgrounds back in the day. Stop pretending it was just me.
Niggas want to come at me with that bullshit, talking about
that was a bit of a reach. She was not attractive in that role. I don't know why he just pulled that.
Oh, he wants to have sex with a video game character.
Yeah, that's right. We do want to have sex with video game characters.
People respond better to more attractive people. That's a fact, okay? He responds, he doubled down about wanting to fuck a video game character. Somebody point out where in my tweet that I said I wanted to fuck a video game character.
Oh, we don't want to fuck a video game character? I mean, not even Eve?
Oh, nigga, you gay.
I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to a video game character. Pan Am from fucking Cyberpunk, fuck, Pan Am was bad. Like, it's not like this. Most of the time they're based off real people. It does like it's nothing wrong with wanting to be with being attracted to somebody in a video game because shit, they look like real people. But regardless, it's the fact that y'all pretending as if you're not basically insinuating that for somebody to have a role in a video game, they got to be good to look at for you when attractiveness is subjective in the first place.
Jesus Christ, bro. Look at this fucking clown, bro. Look at this fucking clown. Look at this fucking clown. Another retarded ass music producer that nobody in the black community knows.
Every Marvel rival character's right. I don't think any of them are unattractive.
A part-time Twitch streamer that nobody's heard of.
Yeah, you tell him, Atreus. And when you get your Twitch off the ground and pass him in Twitch followers, he's going to look back at this video and be mad as hell.
That's crazy. Like, he really just came at him for his Twitch following when... and clearly he uses his page because he was live 3 days ago from when this was taken. So he uses Twitch and that guy uses Twitch, and yet his Twitch is more...
producer that nobody in the black community
successful.
Needs. For the record, nigga, part-time Twitch streamer that nobody's heard of.
Yeah, you tell him,
nobody's
Atreus.
heard of.
And when you get your Twitch off the ground and pass him in Twitch followers, he's going to look back at this video and be mad as hell.
But yeah, we have a blackballed bitch problem in Hollywood right now. I don't know what it is. Like, they refuse to put any attractive women in anything. It's just blackballed bitches that scissor each other.
Yep. I didn't see that.
And then he's just making them gay. Like, I don't think Deborah's ever, when her likeness was used, I don't know if she's ever been a gay character. Why are you saying that?
ever do that, but I definitely believe that's what happened because you said it. I have no reason to distrust anything you say. Who would lie while wearing a cowboy hat indoors? Unless their lineup wasn't crispy, but I know you do it for the style and I respect it.
Unless their lineup wasn't crispy.
Here's the attractiveness halo. The attractiveness halo is a cognitive bias that causes people to attribute positive personality traits to attractive people.
Aw, snap, my boy brought out the Google facts for you mofos. Yes, this is a cognitive bias, things that we should definitely nurture because who needs rationality anyway? What has being rational ever done for me besides literally all of scientific discovery, medicine, food, technology? Besides all that, biases are exactly what we need, and it's why society is so great right now.
Attractiveness and beauty. Okay, more attractive people elicit more positive first impressions. This is an effect that this is called the attractiveness halo. I'm sorry, and it is shown when judging those with more attractive faces, bodies, or voices. Moreover, it yields significant social outcomes, including advantages to attractive people in domains as far reaching as romance, friendships, family relations, education, work, and criminal justice. Physical qualities that increase attractiveness include youthfulness, symmetry, averageness, masculinity in men, and femininity in women. Positive expressions and behaviors also raise evaluations of a person's attractiveness. Cultural, cognitive, evolutionary, and overgeneralization explanations have been offered to explain why we find certain people attractive, whereas the evolutionary explanation predicts that the impressions associated with the halo effect will be accurate. The other explanations do not. Although the research evidence does show some accuracy, it is too weak to satisfactorily account for the positive responses shown to more attractive people.
That's okay. That's okay. You weren't the guy that liked to be called on to read in class, but we all understood your point. I mean, the last part you read kind of contradicted you, but who's perfect? Who's perfect? Not Deborah Wilson, that's for sure. And that just means we shouldn't treat her with respect because we aren't attracted to her. It's science. You just read it.
The simple fact of the matter is more attractive people get more positive results. It is what it is. It's a fact.
But I feel like it would also be really unnatural for like basically especially like a story game. You know, with Marvel Rivals, it's kind of different. You're not there to be. It's just different. But like if a game like Death Stranding or something, or a game like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, if like every single character was just this drop dead gorgeous person, it wouldn't even feel real. It would just feel weird. It would feel like it's pandering. And that would feel more, that would be some DEI shit. Like, yeah, fuck the talent of the actresses or whatever. Make them as fine as fuck. Like, all of them got to be fine and get the best looking women. That shit wouldn't even feel like a real world. And they want to make you, in certain games, it's not that you want to feel like you're really in it, but you want a level of believability. And in the real world, everybody isn't drop dead gorgeous.
It's a fact. That's why, let me see. That's why nobody wants to be this bitch.
I just find it, I also, like I said, I think it's just crazy. Like, y'all you're picking on black women, and then you're picking on black bald women for whatever reason, that they're getting roles. And then these are women that actually prove that they have talent, and you're still complaining while yelling about DEI is about getting black, gay, and females for roles because they're not qualified, yet when they are, you still bitching about them because now they're not attractive enough. Y'all want DEI at this point. Give me the fine women despite how good at they are at the job. I just want them to look good. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Nobody wants to be this bitch.
Exactly. Who the hell wants to be a world-famous movie star and singer in one of the biggest films of last year, a working Broadway actor on 22 different TV shows, nominated for 59 awards and won 20? Like, I'd much rather be on YouTube with a microphone that I can't properly attach to a boom arm. At least then I'd have...
He usually isn't like, he damn near was sarcastic from the very beginning to the very end of that video. And that's not, I haven't seen him do that before. That was pretty fucking funny. That was funny. Oh man, this would be really, oh shit. So Abba and Preach, they got a new video. Let's see what they talking about. Yeah, they Joe Rogan podcast changed my life years ago. It feels weird to admit that now.
All right, you know what? Why don't we take a chance on something? I wrote a single sentence. I'm like, I think this is a topic. You ready? Joe Rogan changed my life, and it's embarrassing to say that I was ever a fan of the podcast.
So Joe Rogan saved your life.
Whoa! Changed.
So yeah, that's what's that. So Joe Rogan saved your life.
Changed.
And then
changed.
You wouldn't call him dad.
I don't want to. Yeah, I knew you was on some bullshit. As soon as that was saved word came out, you made it sound like I was a kitten in a box, and then so you found me at the bottom of a fucking dirt hill.
That's what you said.
So anyways, what I'm saying, Daddy Rogan.
That's what you said.
Yes, Daddy.
I think a lot of people right now have varying feelings about Joe Rogan. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people love him, depending on which aisle of the political spectrum you lie. My issue or my contention is not so much as the political stuff. I know
he lies and let people come on and lie to him, and he repeats the lies, and he gets proven wrong, and he continues to not care.
A lot of people might not believe that. It's more so the actual essence of the podcast and how much that's drastically changed. I used to watch Joe when I was like 21, so that's a good 13, 14 years ago. It's important to give that context because at the time that I picked up on Joe Rogan, the internet was a completely different place. The idea of podcasts weren't a thing. People didn't even, they used to mock it. They used to think it was really fucking stupid. There was no money in it at the start of it. And it was also a time where there wasn't much information out there, or people didn't know how to access information because the internet was so bare bones for quite some time. So when I first stumbled on it, like Joe Rogan experience looked so different at the time. It was like, so first it started with him and Brian Redband on one camera. It was like a webcam. It was horrible quality.
Yeah, how's the quality? Sound, video-wise? Does it sound all right? Can you see us all right?
And it was just them talking. There was all kinds of like overlays of shit moving. It was ghetto as fuck. I didn't watch that much too much. But the next iteration was the split screen era. And the split screen era was when him, Brian Redband, oftentimes another comic, like 95% of his guests were comics or MMA fighters. Why? Because at the time, that's the only people that Joe really had access to much. Even though he'd done Fear Factor, he wasn't the kind of person he is today where he has access to billionaires and everything in between. So it's just him and these guys. And I would listen to all these conversations. And what was really entertaining for me is that in the sea of like commercial television, it was the first time that I was just seeing guys just talk about stuff and talk about it candidly. And it made me think of conversations I'd had with people at one point in my life, or conversations I wish I could have on a more regular
exactly
basis.
what people
so for me,
got
it was
into
very insightful. And his
podcasts in
approach to a lot
general.
of things was like an extreme level of curiosity mingled in with a healthy dose of skepticism. And that last part's really important. So when I'm listening to him talk about, there's one video I'll never forget. It's like Joe Rogan on relationships. And I think it was him talking to his good friend Duncan Trussell. And here it is, just two guys who fucking love mushrooms, psychedelics, and talk about life.
No, this guy was awesome. And he was, one of the things he talked about is in some religious tradition, how they like hold the scriptures. A rabbi like had his students hold the scriptures over their heart. And, when they were memorizing them, and they would say, why do we do this? And he said, so that when your heart breaks, they'll fall in. And it's a beautiful idea, which is that heartbreak is actually your ego cracking. And the moment that cracks, you're in the experience of truth. And when you're in the experience of truth, that's when you can really become who you are. This is like something that I like that Ram Dass says, which is like, if you don't feel like meditating, don't meditate. Don't force it. Don't impose this on yourself. Keep doing the thing you're doing that's upsetting you so much. Have the balls to keep doing the fucking thing that you're doing. Keep doing it. Society is going to tell you, don't be like this. Stop being like this. You have to change. That's what your parents always say. The idea is like, no, sink into what you are right now. Just be that thing. God forgive me because I've quoted it way too many times, but it's better to be an honest street sweeper than a dishonest king. It's better to be a happy guy brushing fucking leaves up the street than it is to be some zillionaire who inside is dying or numb or miserable. Mostly numb. Numb's the word. Most people are just numb.
But as long as these people can quantify on paper,
I
still
with
have
that.
a X $1 million home. My car still costs X $1,000. This suit is an X suit. I am still ahead. I am not going to abandon all these things.
As long as they don't see through the bullshit of the game they think they're winning.
They have to fall. Yeah, it's almost like you have to fall to really. That's what you got to appreciate, those moments when it all falls apart on you, because that means you've got an opportunity to try it again. Are you close with your dad?
I never met my dad. You know, single parent. You never met my dad. So, thanks for bringing that up.
I don't know mine either. Mine's name is Joe Rogan.
Shit, he's out there someplace.
He's out there. The good thing is it made me realize that you can't count on people, but you can count on
trust
some people.
issues,
But
man.
I definitely had
That's
trust issues for a long
right
time,
there.
But become someone that people count on and count on people.
That's what you do.
I have a tight group of friends. Like me and my friends are very close.
I get it.
I would do anything for my friends, and family too.
See, I have there's a certain level of loyalty that I have because of that
Because
too.
of that, yeah. Well, you understand it. Whereas someone who grows up in a big household filled with people and the family was always there and everybody was there, you might take people for granted.
I really hope I hope Abba and Preach do a good job of showing the transition of what his show is now versus this type of shit.
A little bit. My daughter, my youngest, we were playing the other day in the pool, and there was a point in time we were just laughing about something together, just laughing, and I'm looking at her face and she's laughing, and I felt like I was on drugs. I was like, the love that I have for these people is so intense. And it's also, I didn't get that when I was a kid. I didn't
know exactly what you're saying, man.
If Joe just did that kind of stuff the rest of his life, most people look at it as like, okay, it's two hippies just yapping away, and you would move on for your day. But it was really interesting stuff because for me, especially from the immigrant background that I came from, I never heard anybody my whole life talk about introspection. I never heard anybody my whole life talk about therapy. I never heard anybody my whole life talk about being incredibly selfless in the way that you approach relationships. Like, these were all foreign concepts to me that were very much in line with, I think, a lot of the values that I wanted to embody, but I never saw in much of the media that I would watch. As a result, that podcast really opened my mind, and it taught me about a lot of things. And I credit Joe Rogan to some degree because after my father passed away when I was 21, psychedelics were probably one of the best things I had for me to help me through that, and it was very therapeutic for helping me to like really analyze what I had going on inside me and help me heal from it. I had some crazy experience as a result that really helped me kind of move past that traumatic experience. And so I credit it. And it's also the thing that put me on stand-up and probably the thing that put me on Patrice O'Neal, Bill Burr, and a lot of these other people. And as a result, it kind of changed my trajectory in life from straying away from the military towards more artistic endeavors. And so I credit the podcast a lot of times. And I felt always very proud of that because of the fact that what it did for me was so huge. And I never take that away.
So have you ever done DMT?
Like all of a sudden I'd be trying to prove that I'm not crazy when I knew I wasn't crazy.
Right.
What the fuck was that?
Fast forward a couple of years later, there's a shift that happens, and now Joe's podcast is picking up traction. It's not what it is today at all, or even close, but it's definitely getting more popular. And at this point, he's moved to a studio. It looks like a bit more of a professional setup. Now he's inviting all kinds of people who are experts in sleep, which was huge for me because I have sleep apnea, and it's probably one of the biggest things that influenced me to actually get the machine so I could start sleeping again. Because I ended up learning like just how fucked up it is when you don't get good rest. He'd have people that were like neuroscientists, people that are reputable, some quack scientists as well. But Joe was really expanding, and it was really interesting for me because it was conversations I'd never seen elsewhere, and I was really enjoying it. And again, a lot of you are like, oh, you never saw these conversations?
Preach just like a mascot.
2014.
What the fuck?
There was no places that were having these conversations. Unless it was some obscure TED talk that you would never find. So yes, you have to give him some level of credit. He was one of the few, if only, people who were doing it and were relatively popular and consistent. And then he would even bring on political people. And Joe, as a self-proclaimed liberal, would have liberal people on, conservatives, and I enjoyed listening to the conservatives, oftentimes more than liberals because they were more entertaining, just being honest.
Look, here's the thing. Listen,
I'll be honest with you.
And nothing more entertaining than people like Alex Jones.
Kind of retarded.
But one thing I respected about Joe in that era is that even if he had a conservative on, he would push back. And he would push back on his ideals and be very vocal about it. And if you don't believe me, look at what happened when Candace Owens went on. She started yapping away about climate and stuff like that, and Joe didn't let her off the hook. And I don't think she's been back on since.
The climate is forever changing. Like that's the problem, is that people are making it seem like that's something weird.
No,
it's
no,
not
that's
unique.
not. You're misrepresenting the issue.
Look what happened when Steven Crowder came on.
At
Started
his
talking about
best.
how weed is a devil and all this stuff, and Joe let him have it. It was one of the biggest, spats.
Traffic fatalities regarding marijuana have skyrocketed.
What?
Google that, because that's nonsense. I think it was revealed in the WikiLeaks memos.
See, this is where I was saying
hold on, don't interrupt me, you fuck.
But at the same time, he
Damn, I wish he played more of that back and
with liberals
forth.
on things that were important. He had Jamie Kilstein. You know who that is?
No.
Short guy, white guy with glasses. He was part of like a lot of the Me Too stuff, and Joe let him have it. Joe unloaded on the dude.
You know that's worse than saying wouldn't it be funny if someone just him. That's not worse. It is worse. Murder's worse.
Murder's way worse than
Murder is worse than man.
I don't think we had this conversation.
You're crazy. You would rather be murdered than
Probably top 3 biggest fights Joe's ever had on the podcast. Yes. Joe.
He was pushing back on what?
A lot of the Me Too stuff at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. If I remember, Jamie Kilstein was like a hyper-feminist type comedian.
Gotcha. Where is he now?
So, funny enough, he's changed his tune. But that's a
his
tape for a
tune.
different day. Remember that guy who does Adam Hates Everything?
Yep, he got on Adam Conover
that
too.
Dude, and he was letting him
He
have
got
it too.
on him
So
too.
you think that males should
He
be able
didn't
to
know what he
compete
was
in the
talking
women's
about.
division of weightlifting?
No, I don't necessarily.
But they can if they transition.
Well, first of all,
So you would see that Joe would have people from all ends of the political spectrum, but he was always not
back.
shy about pushing back. And that's something that I truly appreciate.
That's the first estimate.
Yes. I think I tuned out of the podcast actually before COVID. It was like 2018, 2019. I started tuning out a little bit, and that's more so when the IDW phase started, which if you don't know what the IDW is, it's called the intellectual dark web, okay? Super
boy.
nerdy. I thought it was one of the gayest titles I'd ever seen. It essentially is Comic-Con for niggas with doctorates. You got a degree, you a big fucking nerd, social reject, come join us. It was like that.
Gotcha.
So you had like Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, I think Ben Shapiro maybe, Joe Rogan, a couple other people. Some of them have already left, but it was a really cringe movement, in my opinion. But I saw Joe, all of a sudden, a lot of reoccurring guests would start appearing, and a lot of them all lean to the right. That was like, it was a reoccurring theme. And a lot of them were
old
grifters.
Joe is,
You know, Dave Rubin,
is
he's
way
not allowed
better.
on the podcast anymore. You big, and Joe's talking shit about him, but you would see these people that would start coming on.
What year was that?
Like, I definitely love
2018,
those
2019.
normal, candid conversations. Now he just let lies fly and don't push back on bullshit and just just says bullshit, gets fact checked, and then just continues on like not believing it. It's like, bro.
My timeline, I'm going roughly. But I think when I really saw Joe, I could not watch episodes anymore, was definitely after the pandemic. And to be fair, I understand why. Legacy media definitely did Joe dirty with how they covered him with COVID.
Yeah, a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is thick.
But don't you think
they definitely did him super dirty? But I think that also partially broke his brain, because after that he was never the same. And then podcasts, like every time it'd always just be some spiel about conservative stuff, and there would be zero pushback. Jamie would correct him sometimes. He'd be like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know that." You just move on. But I'm like, bro, you're just spreading lies for a good like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
You get fact check, and there's no introspection. All this stuff that you'd always encourage. Like you are not looking at your biases, because in an odd way, Joe's the reason why part of the reason why I became such an introspective person. But I feel like he's lost a lot of those qualities now that he's in this phase of his life for the last 4 or 5 years. That's what it feels like when I watch the pod now.
I can understand why. And anyways, keep on going.
No, I've been talking for a long time. So
the dates corroborate. And then COVID happened, and they really exaggerated everything. They basically lied. So he was doing all this time this work where he was trying to do like the just thing, where you're supposed to see both sides of the spectrum and you're supposed to see like the two sides of the coin and stuff like that. But I've seen this happen a couple of times now, where people from your camp ostracize you so bad because you disagree on one little thing. Like you're not.
I said that thing. I said between COVID, people like the ivermectin stuff, COVID, and when they shouted him down for when he said the N-word all the time on his, not all the time, but when he used the N-word and they made that compilation of it and he was all like, they made it seem like he was using that word willy-nilly, when more often than not he was just quoting something or whatever, but he wasn't just saying it because he felt like he could say it, but he felt like it wasn't wrong to say it if he was quoting somebody or repeating what somebody said or whatever. Who is they in this supposed lie? What you referring to? Well, they were saying he was advertising horse dewormer versus the human version of ivermectin. That's what they was doing. To be honest, I don't know if it was the media more so or people that just said that. Yeah, I know he was using it in context. That's why I'm people don't like me. I have this take, but I don't care about people using the word within context. I don't care about white people saying the N-word if it's in context. When you use it to insult somebody, that's my issue. But if you're reading something, quoting somebody, or using it to make a point, like I don't have the energy to be doing all that. It's stupid.
To even be like, you said it yourself, he's the guy that was, introspective. He was doing introspective, and he was asking questions. And let me just question myself, because I'm not sure that we're necessarily, and it's good to ask the questions if we're going to see if we're going in the right direction. And he was a liberal, but those same liberal from his camp was like, nah, bro, they try to cancel him. So yeah, that is going to affect someone. And I do believe that you're right. When you say that something changed, and I understand why it changed. It was so bad at some point. How they were trying to, like, even the media that had nothing to do, that we're not even talking about him, we're talking about, yeah, he should be canceled. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say something that is really weird. The way they treated Joe was like if it was the first Andrew Tate. They were saying that he was like his views, and he should not be platformed, and he should not platform. He should not platform these people. And he should not have. They were trying to dictate him what he tried to do with his platform. Just like.
Why were they trying to talk about his platform?
Because they were not agreeing. They were not agreeing with what he was saying. They were saying that, oh well, no, that was before he switched. That was. Do you think it was right when he switched?
Yeah, it was when he was doing the ivermectin stuff. That's when everyone switched.
Yeah, but
before then they were not talking about.
But was he wrong?
Was he wrong about what he was saying?
Ivermectin? Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff he was definitely wrong. Yeah. And that's when he brought up that expert, the most viewed.
He was wrong because now you could take ivermectin all you want, but he was out here acting like he had the sauce. Like, no, y'all, fuck the vaccine, get this ivermectin shit. Like it was too much. It was wrong, and I guess he didn't like the backlash for everybody telling him like, bro, you wrong, you're lying to people.
Oh yeah,
and that podcast was a game changer because that expert was on point.
I remember what you're saying.
You talking about Sanjay?
They were calling it horse dewormer.
Yes.
And it's not horse dewormer.
Exactly right.
It's not horse dewormer. It's like saying an antibiotic is a horse dewormer if you use it at a certain dose. Sure, but the levels that humans use it for, it's not. So they were lying.
And because I feel like
I just don't know if it was the media saying that or people not knowing and saying it, and then it caught traction. I don't know. I don't remember.
A bit before that, when the Me Too stuff happened. That's where I feel like they started to be on his case a bit. It was not as bad because I was hearing some people, I was hearing some people from the left talking about, Joe Rogan being the devil and everything and stuff because he was like an enabler and he was like, that's what I heard personally from people in my sphere. Yeah. So I think they were starting to flip there. It was not as bad as the ivermectin stuff, but I digress. All that to say, I can understand why he's changed. I mean, everything you do something for so long, it's gonna change. Even if you look at this channel, it changed over time. We started this channel. We were not even in the room. We were in the living room. We're not even, and the stance or the way we're gonna attack certain subject are gonna change. And your way.
Ever like, nah, we ain't changed, nigga. Preach talking about we changed rooms. Ever like, yeah, my issue ain't his setting. It's the entire context of what the show was about and what it served the purpose of. Ever like, no, we ain't changed, bro. We just in a different space. We ain't changed. And honestly, I was watching Abba and Preach on Facebook. I was catching them on Facebook a lot. I was seeing their clips, and then I found out they was on YouTube, and I never went back. So they ain't changed. Since I've been seeing that, I don't know what he talking about in the living room or whatever, but since I've been seeing Abba and Preach for well over about, how old am I? That should have been at least 6 years. No, it's been like 10 years. I don't know. It's been over 7. It was before I had my child. It's been over 7 years I've been watching Abba and Preach, and they ain't changed.
Of dealing with certain subjects as well is going to change. It's bound to
having a different opinion is one thing, but changing what your purpose is of your channel is what he's talking about. And Joe Rogan is the opposite of everything he used to be. Abba and Preach ain't that. You can have a different understanding of things and opinions, but the whole premise of what Joe Rogan used to do and why people liked it is different.
That happened.
But we're not talking about change though. Like, we changed. Did our core of what we do change? No.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I said I understand change. I don't even mind that he's more of a conservative today than he was before.
Yeah, like you can even be conservative. Like, you don't have to have the same leaning as far as your politics or your views on society. But what your show did, you're doing the opposite. You're lying now. You're accepting lies. You're spreading lies. You're not being introspective of being fact checked. Like, that's crazy.
The lack of curiosity that I used to see and the level of pushback that
there's
I was
no
used
curiosity.
To
There's no pushback. Yeah.
See, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the essence. Like, original Joe Rogan fans, the people who were there for a long time, most of them are gone. It's a new crop of fans who have really popped up.
Yeah.
You can tell by the comment section. You can tell by the type of people that are engaged. You can tell by the response to a lot of things. It's a completely different atmosphere. And even by some of the guests that he brings on, you could really feel the change. What was my point at the beginning? Joe Rogan changed my life. And now I'm embarrassed to say I was ever a fan. That's all I'm getting at.
Was that last part?
And now I'm embarrassed to ever say that I was true.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because you have to understand, most people's perception of Joe is what he is today.
Yeah, but you fell in love with something that was back then. So I wouldn't feel ashamed of what it was, because we're not talking about the same thing. When I understand that it changed and everything and stuff. It's like Kanye West. Yeah. I'm not ashamed to be like, I like Kanye West, the old Kanye West. When I'm saying that,
it's not like I'm ashamed, like, oh my God, I have to run. I'm just saying, like, it's just something I would never want to bring up. Whereas back in the past, I would have loved to bring that up.
I wish he shows. I hope maybe he will show some clips of today's content.
No, there's this
with
podcast.
the
I used to
lying and the
recommend these
fact
clips
checking
all the time. I used to recommend podcasts on sleep, on exercise, knees over toes guy. It was so good in terms of actual just knowledge in that regard. You know, the fact that it is what it is today is not something I decry all the time. I'm not over here like, oh my God, Joe. It's like, I made dues with that 5-6 years ago. I accepted and I just stopped watching it for the most part. So I've already moved on. I also think that now we live in such a diverse political diverse podcast space that you have so many opportunities for you to go watch people and learn things and learn about sleep and stuff. That the void that Joe left has been filled by all different kinds of people. Also, one thing that definitely changed that I personally think is a big pet peeve of mine is Joe really felt like the everyday person. The way he talked about stuff, the way he advocated for things, and even the people he used to bring on. It definitely felt like that. And now it feels like the billionaires club. Like, in the last 2 years, I think I've seen more billionaires on Joe's podcast than he ever had in the last 20 years right before then. And it's just a weird feeling now where these people get to come on, okay, get to do their PR spin for whatever they're advocating, from Mark Zuckerberg to Elon to the other banker guy, lie about a lot of stuff, and Joe's never there to have Jamie fact check a lot of it. Joe's not there to, like, push back on him. He's just lapping it up. And I'm just saying, the guy that I used to listen before would have been highly skeptical of these kinds of people. But now it's just so bizarre seeing him buddy up with everyone who's, like, incredibly rich. Like, I used to hear Joe always complain about Mark Zuckerberg. I used to hear him roast him. And now he's sitting in front of the dude, and the dude's just lying about shit, and Joe's just like, oh, okay.
That's
an odd thing to me.
Yeah, I understand the feeling when you say, like,
you don't ask
questions.
questions.
You feel like the everyday dude, but the reality is, he's not.
He was.
Present tense. He's not. He's not. He's not a regular dude.
Sure.
He don't hang out with regular dudes. So maybe that's what happened, or doing the UFC and being all maybe that's what it is. I'm not excusing him. I'm just saying, I'm trying to understand what happened and why it's like that. Maybe it's just the people that, you get to know them, you get to talk to them, and then eventually you're like, oh, these people are not that bad. And you get blinded by the lights. I guess. Maybe.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm just saying, the guy who was skeptical of government every day, just seeing him lap up what a bunch of billionaires say is just bizarre to me. You know, the whole point of legacy or independent media was to be a countercurrent to that voice. It's like, okay. And now you're like yupping it up with guys who like own media companies and some of the biggest media companies.
What would you say to him?
What do you mean?
What would you say to Joe?
What would I say to him?
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, aside, thank you. I'd probably be thankful for what he did in the past for me. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that doesn't erase the good. You can't erase the good, right?
That's
because
why you
I'm a
cannot
testament.
be ashamed of what he did in the past.
No, definitely still am. Because you're talking about an idealistic sense, but people's perception doesn't work that day. It's not because you explained it that people are understanding.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, like I'm pretty sure the people who knew Hitler when he was a kid are probably like, "Oh, he was so cool." Shut your fucking mouth, right? I'm not saying he's that.
I didn't say
Shut your
shit.
But you get what I'm trying to say? It's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. In an idealistic world, people look at you, but you're still going to get that judgment regardless.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. You could have said Kanye.
Could have.
Same.
But I was just trying to illustrate the point. You got what I was trying to say. For all the political stuff, one of his biggest faults is a fucking, the Rogan sphere comedians. Like what Cat Williams said, Joe Rogan and 7 comedians that were never funny, right?
That would be like me being on Joe Rogan. Joe don't want me on there. I need to be on Shannon. Joe got 6 comedians that never been funny. He want to push out.
That's a fact. But he always promoted them. I understand they're his friends. But these hacks were always showing up and always being cringe and always being... at some point, it's like, bro, how many times do I have to hear Brendan Schaub's got a fucking special? Dude's trash. Doing comedy for 3 months. Like, why y'all lying to us?
What do you have that replaces that?
I don't watch podcasts anymore.
Where do you get your inspiration? And what do you consume that entice you to grow?
I think everyday life is like much more impactful for me now. So when you're a young man,
I found the video. There's a video of them of somebody that got all of Joe Rogan's
it's fact checked in real time. Like it's just
these fact checks of Joe Rogan, and it's beautiful.
Some of the most satisfying moments on JRE is when Joe Rogan gets fact-checked in real time. Like, it's just priceless seeing Joe slowly realize that what he was saying for the last 15 minutes was completely wrong. And these fact-checks are usually served up by the unsung hero and producer of the show, Jamie Vernon, who endlessly Googles the topics of Joe's claims to make sure that what he's saying is correct. And don't get me wrong, a lot of what Joe Rogan says on his show, for the most part, is true. But when he is wrong, Jamie's not afraid to let him know. For instance, on episode 1926 with Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker, Joe Rogan was fact-checked in real time after falsely stating that a single volcano eruption releases more CO2 gas than anything human beings have ever done.
There was more CO2 released from that one volcano erupting than everything human beings have ever done. Really? Fact check.
His face is so stern about it. Jesus Christ.
Volcanoes do not produce more CO2 emissions than human activity.
Reuters is on.
And they laughing dead in his face.
Yeah.
Where would this show be without young Jamie? I mean, he's pretty much carrying this show's entire reputation on his back, since Joe essentially believes just about everything he sees on Twitter.
Imagine not having a Jamie. Like...
And don't even get me started with the guests. Joe's guests usually only make the lies worse, as they tend to just agree with everything that Joe says, since Joe's blessing them with the exposure from his massive audience. But still, Jamie never fails to deliver the truth. Like during the episode that Joe did with the UFC fighter, Bo Nickel, Joe and Bo spend a good portion of the episode trashing the previous president of the United States, Joe Biden, accusing him of saying stupid things on a global stage. But, as you'll see shortly, after a quick Google search from Jamie, it's revealed that, hilariously enough, Biden was actually referring to something that Donald Trump was saying.
Well, there's people that voted for Biden that are doing it now. They're like, what did I do?
Right.
What did I choose? How is this guy?
I
Did you hear what he said like yesterday or a couple days ago? He's talking about the Revolutionary War. He's like, one of the reasons why we lost the Revolutionary War, one of the problems with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports. Yeah. Have you seen that?
I saw
Like, what? Like, pull him.
Yeah. Was this the video you're talking about?
Let me see what this one says. I don't think it is.
The same stable genius that said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Whoa.
Yeah, that's it.
Whoa.
Right. What?
Just for the record.
Is that fake?
It's not fake, but he was referencing Trump saying that. Here's what Trump's saying it in 2019.
Oh,
Donald Trump said
oh my God. Like the same guy, like they used to be so introspective, used to have a healthy level of skepticism, like Abba said, and now it's just like, whatever I see, I'm taking it at face value and running with it and then spreading it at that. Like, God.
that. He didn't say Jesus, he said a stable genius, and that's where the transcription.
Let me hear what it says. What did he say?
Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts.
It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he f***ed up.
Yeah, he did. But I feel like
So
you can tell too. It sounds like a little different. He's like, you can tell he like messed up his words, but yeah.
And the coping done by Joe and his guest after Jamie community notes them into oblivion is just amazing. I mean, it's really the only thing they could do after being completely dunked on by the truth. So yeah, I think we can all say that Jamie's really the unanimous MVP of the Joe Rogan experience. But sometimes it's not just Jamie who keeps Joe in check. Like, believe it or not, sometimes the guest actually grows a pair and tells Joe to his face that he's wrong. For example, during episode 1762 with Josh Zepps in 2022, Zepps interrupts one of Joe's ramblings about the dangers of the COVID vaccine to tell him that what he's saying is, in fact, wrong.
For young boys in particular, there's an adverse risk associated with the vaccine. It's like a 2 to 4-fold increase in the instances of myocarditis.
Yes, but you know what?
Hospitalization.
You know that there's an increased risk of myocarditis among that age cohort from getting COVID as well, which exceeds the risk of myocarditis from the vaccine.
I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true.
Look, I don't think that's true. Like, bro, it's like that COVID shit really broke his brain because he feels like he knows it all because he got done wrong with the ivermectin horse dewormer shit. So he feels vindicated. But you were still wrong about it being a better option than the vaccine.
No. I don't think it's true that there's an increased risk of myocarditis from people catching COVID that are young versus increased risk of myocarditis from the vaccine.
No, there is.
Why would you think that vaccine is going to heighten myocarditis versus the actual fucking COVID, which was fucking people up?
There's both.
Well, let's look that up because I don't think that's true. Myocarditis is more common after COVID-19 infection than vaccination. But is this with children?
Is this with children? Bro, take the L.
Yeah, we're talking about young people.
Men and boys aged under 30 after this is what it says here.
With children is the issue.
Well, no, we were talking about 15-year-olds.
Well, we're talking about young children.
Male
So, yes.
child 12 to 17.
Yeah, so you're about 8 times likelier to get myocarditis from getting COVID than from getting the vaccine.
That's interesting.
Now,
that is not what I've read before, but also it's like, even when we're reading these things, it's like, what are we getting this from? Was this from the VAERS report?
So even after...
This cope.
After Joe says that he doesn't trust that website, Zepps, in the most polite way possible, says to Joe that he should trust this info, since basically every nation verified it with their own research. But of course, Joe ignorantly remains skeptical.
A great idea.
I don't trust American
trust any of it.
epidemiological data very much, but the fact that it's a global pandemic and that there are lots of like wonky geniuses in Germany and like South Korea and stuff doing a lot of this research as well, I think that in general I sort of trust the consensus of most of the people who are smarter than me about it. And that's the data that I've heard about it.
Joe Rogan during the pandemic was just another breed of gullible stupidity. Like, it got so bad to the point where it seemed like it was actually starting to piss young Jamie off. Because oftentimes, after painstakingly finding the most trustworthy article on the topic of Joe's claims, Joe would still disagree with Jamie. Like during episode 1749 with Shane Dorian, when Joe claimed that the Texas Health Department had a policy that would deny straight white males access to antibody treatment.
You know what they done in Texas? You know what's crazy? A friend of mine went, and he's a white guy, and he went and they told him that they couldn't give it to him because of his age and his body mass, because he's white, but if he was Hispanic or black, they would be able to give it to him.
On his face, that sounds like bullshit. That doesn't, and even if it is true, that's somebody that was literally doing something illegal. That it's just hearing that, I just would not believe that whatsoever. It don't make sense.
That's so messed up.
And he went, what?
Wait, what?
He said, if I looked exactly like my body now, but I had more melanin.
That's crazy.
You'd be able to choose
because your skin tone.
Because you'd be in an at-risk group.
It's like a long episode of Black Mirror.
Fact check. No policy denies white people antibody treatment, Texas Health Department says. There's a video of it.
Joe then goes on to refute Jamie's fact check with his own
And like, I'm just so glad Jamie has the fucking spine and he cares enough about the show's credibility to do that shit. God.
Personal anecdote. And when Jamie responds to this, you can kind of hear Jamie getting impatient with Joe's stupidity.
There's a video of it.
I know, and the video says that. Well, I know. So they talk about the video in this, and then they reached out to the Texas Health Services.
Yeah, but they absolutely did to this guy, though. Like, people are definitely doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're...
That doesn't mean it's a policy. It means that person is an asshole, maybe.
Right.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think...
Right.
You mean the person at the clinic?
Like the nurse, whoever said that they couldn't do it.
But she was saying she was sorry. And it just was. This was the way that they had to do it.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this might be covering up for some fucking horseshit.
Oh my God.
And I think Jamie's pushback here was justified because this episode was during the height of Joe getting lambasted in the media for spreading misinformation on his podcast about the COVID-19 vaccine. So I think this really kept Jamie on his toes moving forward. Like ever since then, Jamie's evolved into the world's greatest fact checker. And I honestly think he enjoys telling Joe that he's wrong on Joe's own show. For instance, during a recent episode of JRE with Sean Ryan, Jamie fact-checked Joe's claims that Democrats had the most amount of donations over any other party. And the funniest part about this fact check was that it seemed like Jamie knew exactly how Joe was going to refute this evidence. So in turn, Jamie had his backup source on standby.
Well, it's also like if you look at the amount of donors that donate to the left versus donate to the right. Have you ever seen that chart?
No.
It's fucking nuts. The left gets so many more donations than the right does. Like it's a giant difference.
What do you got, shows the top donors to OpenSecrets.org. 6 of the top 7 are Republicans.
Oh,
individual donors.
Individual donors. What I was talking about was like they showed a chart that had like Google, Facebook,
those was
all these
individual
mega
donors,
corporations
sir.
that were donating.
Individual donors.
Go
sir.
to top corporation donations via party.
It is a complete facade.
This is the number one. This is corporations. So they donate more than Google.
Top contributors, organizations, federal contributions.
So 82 million is the top one, and that's Empower Parents, PAC, and these are right wing. Is that why it's red?
I'd assume so.
So it seems like the top 4. Why? What?
The sweet sound of Joe.
Because, and you know what's so funny about that? It's telling that corporations as an entity will donate to Republicans, but individual people on their own money, on their own dime, as an individual, not affiliated with their work necessarily, will donate to Democrats more. Like they get more money on the individual basis, but the corporations donate to the Republican Party. That's pretty interesting, right? Sounds to me like individual people favor Democratic policies more.
Rogan getting served up back-to-back fact checks. What a time to be alive, folks. The last fact check on this list was actually a very recent one from episode 2271 with John Reeves, where Jamie fact-checks Joe after Joe claims that the conspiracy about U.S. aid giving $27 million to the George Soros DA fund is true. And guys, the reason I saved this clip for last is because it truly shows you the state of the Joe Rogan experience in 2025. Like, Joe just simply doesn't care about the truth anymore. He is 100% a propaganda machine.
We're spending money to, like, $27 million went to the George Soros DA fund. That's so crazy. That's more than he puts in. We were paying to get shitty DAs elected.
There's a pushback on that 27 million George Soros stuff.
Oh, really? What's the pushback?
That it's not true.
That is not true.
It's a long tweet if you want me to bring it up.
Sure, bring it up.
I thought it was 58 million.
It's only on the side of the page, though.
Okay, the claim that Mike Benz establishes in his research is that U.S. aid paid out $27 million in grants to the Tide Foundation. The Tide Foundation is a major funder of the Soros-backed group. As far as I can tell by Googling, there has never been any organizational affiliation between the two organizations. Okay, by Googling? That's it? You just Googled? But at the end of the line, it's like, this is all vague. Like, what is that? What's that 24 million going to? Like, what it might be going to fight diseases. It might be, or sure, or you don't know. How about you don't know? And all you did was Google whether or not those people know each other? That's crazy.
It's hilarious to hear Joe Rogan laugh and call Googling a ridiculous measure of fact-checking when that's literally what he has paid Jamie to do for decades. Like, that's Jamie's entire job. Just Googling the shit that comes out of Joe and his guest's mouth and occasionally correcting him using, you guessed it, Google. So yeah, guys, Jamie's truly the MVP of the Joe Rogan experience nowadays. And even though Joe doesn't really agree with any of the fact checks that Jamie brings up anymore, I think Jamie's doing a wonderful job of showing the audience that there are at least two sides to whatever Joe is blabbering on about in the current moment. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below if you want to.
Yeah, so that's the fall of Joe Rogan. Like, it's just really, it's sad to see somebody that used to be so introspective just turn around and just eat up bullshit like it's the best dessert they ever had, and not even think about, you know what I'm saying, what people are saying to him, what he's reading and questioning it. But he's just leaning into this right-wing grift for who knows how long, maybe till Trump gets impeached or the Democrats win in 2028, whichever comes first. But thank you to everybody that tuned into the stream. If you made it to this point, make sure to leave a like, comment, sub. If not one, then all three. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.